Douluo, Transmigrated as Huo Yuhao, encounters Zhu Zhuqing. This video is purely for entertainment, and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting, and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 51, The Great Fighting Spirit Arena. You sleep on the bed, and I sleep on the sofa, Huo Yuhao said. With Zhu Zhuqing's hot body and innocent face, living in the same room, no man could resist the temptation. However, Huo Yuhao was not from this world after all, and his concept did not allow him to make a move on a girl who was less than 12 years old. Even if this little girl had a mature body, she was old enough to get married in this world. Brother Yuhao, if you want. Zhu Zhuqing blushed, buried her head in her chest, and said shyly, "No, I don't want to." Huo Yuhao interrupted Zhu Zhuqing directly, glared at him, and said, "You are so young, don't think about these messy things, go to bed quickly." Huo Yuhao pointed his finger at Zhu Zhuqing's smooth forehead, and pushed her into the bedroom without saying anything. Brother Yuhao. Before Zhu Zhuqing could say anything, Huo Yuhao had already closed the door. Her pretty face was red, and it was red all the way to her ears. "I'm not imagining anything. I just want to say that this bed is very big. Even with a pillow in the middle, 2 people can sleep on it," Zhu Zhuqing said softly. 11 years old, which girl has such an exaggerated figure at the age of 11? Huo Yuhao complained, took a cold shower, and fell asleep quickly on the sofa. There was no conversation all night. "Good morning, Brother Yuhao." In the morning, after seeing Huo Yuhao, Zhu Zhuqing's face couldn't help but blush again. Last night, because of Huo Yuhao's misunderstanding, she, who originally had no imaginary thoughts, had imaginary thoughts all night. After having breakfast in the hotel, Huo Yuhao and Zhu Zhuqing set off to return to Soto City. Huo Yuhao and Zhu Zhuqing still lived in the hotel. According to the room rate of 2 gold soul coins, Huo Yuhao could live here for a year or 2 without any pressure. It was still early, and the 2 of them practiced in the hotel after lunch. Huo Yuhao and Zhu Zhuqing sat cross-legged facing each other, with their palms facing each other. Suddenly, the soul power in their bodies seemed to be 2 rivers converging together, and it became more powerful. Soul power flowed freely in their bodies, circulating back and forth. When they practiced together, they could even vaguely feel a slight increase in soul power. Huo Yuhao was a genius with full innate soul power, and although Zhu Zhuqing's innate soul power was only level 7, she had taken 2 Zuanshu pills successively, and her cultivation talent had been greatly improved. At this moment, the speed of their cultivation was superimposed. Although it did not reach the level of 1 + 1 = 2, it also reached 1.3. Don't think that this 30% speed increase will open up a huge gap with soul masters of the same talent level over the years. Whether it is for Huo Yuhao or Zhu Zhuqing, this 30% cultivation bonus is very important. Half a month later, Zhu Zhuqing's soul power broke through level 36. System, do a 10-draw bronze treasure chest. Huo Yuhao issued an order. Ding, 100,000 luck points have been deducted. Ding, the bronze treasure chest has been opened. Congratulations to the host for obtaining 1 mysterious water pill. Ding, the bronze treasure chest has been opened. Congratulations to the host for obtaining 1 tempering body pill. After 10 consecutive draws, Huo Yuhao once again obtained 2 mysterious water pills, 2 soul ascension pills, 2 recovery pills, and 4 tempering body pills. Now, his reserve of pills is enough to last for a while. Huo Yuhao was a little disappointed that he didn't get any new items. It couldn't be that the bronze treasure chest could only open these 4 kinds of pills in addition to the 3rd level soul guidebook. Huo Yuhao was unwilling, but he didn't continue to open the bronze treasure chest. Instead, he gave the system an order. Open a silver treasure chest. Ding, 100,000 luck points have been deducted. Ding, congratulations to the host for obtaining the methods for making intermediate soul guides and the complete collection of core arrays. Huo Yuhao was slightly surprised. It was another book for learning how to make soul guides. Huo Yuhao opened the book and took a quick look. He found that the book contained a large number of methods for making soul guides from level 4 to level 7. Previously, Huo Yuhao had already fully comprehended the low-level soul guide manufacturing methods and core arrays obtained from the bronze treasure chest. His current soul guide cultivation level would be that of a level 3 soul guide, even if he were placed in the Douluo Continent 10,000 years later. And now, the silver treasure chest opened the methods for making intermediate soul guides and core arrays, which means that he will be able to continue learning soul guides. The martial soul cultivation level has improved rapidly, and the level 3 soul guide longsword in Huo Yuhao's hand can no longer meet his current combat needs. He needs a more advanced soul guide to arm himself. However, if he wants to make a more advanced soul guide, the requirements for metal materials are also higher. With Huo Yuhao's current financial resources, it is difficult to support him to learn the knowledge of making level 4 soul guides. It seems that it is time to find a way to make money. That night, Huo Yuhao took Zhu Zhuqing out. "Brother Yuhao, where are we going?" Zhu Zhuqing asked. "Let's go see the Soto City Great Soul Fighting Arena." Huo Yuhao smiled. He had long wanted to see the Soto City Great Soul Fighting Arena. Cultivation is important, but actual combat is equally important. When the soul power level, martial soul quality, and soul ring age are equal, the actual combat ability of a soul master in a battle is the most important factor in determining victory or defeat. Therefore, Huo Yuhao will not give up the opportunity to practice and display. The Soto City Great Soul Fighting Arena has another advantage, which is that you can get money from it. The Great Soul Fighting Arena is the largest building in Soto City. The night is the busiest time, because the soul fighting competitions in the Great Soul Fighting Arena are all held at night. The Great Soul Fighting Arena is divided into a main soul fighting arena and 24 sub-soul fighting arenas, which can accommodate 60,000 spectators at the same time. The soul fighting here is divided into 3 categories. One is a game, where you learn from each other, and cannot kill each other. One is a life and death fight, which is used to resolve irreconcilable disputes. The third is a gambling fight, and the winner will get everything in the bet. There are also 3 forms of competition: 1-on-1, 2-on-2, and team battle. The number of people in a team battle is usually between 7 and 10. After entering the Great Soul Fighting Arena, Huo Yuhao and Zhu Zhuqing began to fill out the soul fighting registration form. Because the two had never been to the Great Soul Fighting Arena before, they also needed to register as soul masters. After paying a total of 20 gold soul coins, Huo Yuhao and Zhu Zhuqing each received a 9 soul fighting medal. The soul fighting information of the two is as follows. Soul Master, Huo Yuhao. Martial Soul, Spirit Eyes. Soul Power Level, Level 41. Soul Fighting Level, Iron Soul Fighting. Points, 0. Soul Master, Zhu Zhuqing. Martial Soul, Nether Spirit Cat. Soul Power Level, Level 36. Soul Fighting Level, Iron Soul Fighting. Points, 0. After completing the soul fighting information registration, Huo Yuhao and Zhu Zhuqing signed up for a 1-on-1 soul fighting registration and a combined 2-on-2 soul fighting. Huo Yuhao and Zhu Zhuqing entered the rest area of the Great Soul Fighting Arena and waited for the start of the game, asking for monthly tickets and recommendation tickets. Chapter 52, The First Fight. After waiting for about half an hour, it was finally Huo Yuhao's turn to compete. Next, the 8th match of the 24 fighting spirit arenas will be a 1-on-1 match. 2 soul masters will appear. They are Huo Yuhao, who has the Spirit Eye Martial Soul, and Yang Zhen, who has the Martial Soul Iron Rod. Please invite the 2 soul masters to play. Soul Master level matches are rare in Soto City, especially Soul Master level matches, where the fighting spirit level is still the Iron Fighting Spirit. Huo Yuhao walked slowly from the rest area to the fighting spirit arena. On the other side, a tall and strong middle-aged man also came to the fighting spirit arena. The Martial Soul Iron Rod is considered to be a relatively powerful martial soul, but the quality of this martial soul is not too high. Huo Yuhao's age can be seen at a glance. He is less than 180 centimeters tall, with a handsome face and soft hair. His martial soul is eyes, so there is no problem. Generally speaking, the body of a beast martial soul master develops faster. For example, Zhu Zhuqing has such a hot body at a young age. The body of a weapon martial soul master is more based on the characteristics of the martial soul. For example, the spirit masters with the clear sky hammer spirit are generally very strong and tall. The spirit masters with sword spirits are slender. Some even doubted that given Huo Yuhao's age, was he really participating in a spirit fight at the soul sect level? Could it be that the staff of the soul fighting arena made a mistake? Although the audience in the audience seats did not know Huo Yuhao's age, they could only judge from his appearance that Huo Yuhao was no more than 20 years old. Could he have broken through to the soul sect at this age? If the staff did not make a mistake, it would be really surprising. Little brother, is it a mistake? Are you sure you are participating in a spirit fight at the soul sect level? Yang Zhen was a little stunned. He looked at Huo Yuhao and did not expect that his opponent was so young. Huo Yuhao smiled slightly and said, I look young, but I'm indeed a soul sect. It's good that it's not a mistake. Let's fight. Yang Zhen shouted, and 4 spirit rings appeared on his body, 3 yellow and 1 purple. In his hand, a dark iron rod appeared, which was more than 2 meters long and as thick as a bowl. Yang Zhen rushed towards Huo Yuhao with big strides, and the iron rod in his hand drew a series of sparks on the ground. Huo Yuhao, who was opposite him, stood still and waited for Yang Zhen to rush over. Huo Yuhao's eyes flashed with golden light, and then 4 soul rings, 2 yellow and 2 purple, emerged from under his feet. 4 rings. It was indeed a soul master, and a soul master with the best soul ring ratio. Yang Zhen's eyes suddenly condensed, and he became serious. Because he knew that his soul ring ratio could not match the opponent's, now he could only look at the quality of his martial soul, actual combat experience and soul power level. Both of them were soul masters, but Yang Zhen had been in the realm of soul masters for several years, and his soul power level had reached level 46. Huo Yuhao looked so young, and it was already very remarkable to be able to break through to the soul master level. How high could his soul power level be? In a few breaths, Yang Zhen rushed in front of Huo Yuhao, and swung the iron rod in his hand to hit Huo Yuhao's shoulder. The fighting spirits of the two were just ordinary games, and they could not injure the opponent. Yang Zhen did not know Huo Yuhao's strength, otherwise his goal would be Huo Yuhao's head. Huo Yuhao bent his legs slightly and faced the stick without dodging, and actually stretched out his hands to grab the opponent's iron stick. Is this kid crazy? Even a beast spirit master would not dare to be so arrogant and actually want to use his hands to resolve the opponent's attack. This stick was powerful and heavy, with a strong pressure. However, Yang Zhen could not see a trace of panic in Huo Yuhao's eyes. This action was not made by Huo Yuhao in a panic, but this was his choice for fighting. Bang, the iron stick fell between Huo Yuhao's hands, colliding with his palms, making a dull explosion. However, to everyone's surprise, the stick was actually caught by Huo Yuhao. In the astonished eyes of his opponent, Huo Yuhao raised his foot and kicked out. The opponent's iron stick was caught in his hand, and he could not hold it back to avoid it, so this kick was real. Yang Zhen groaned, his eyes widened. It was obvious that he had not expected that Huo Yuhao's thin body could contain such a powerful force. This kick on his lower abdomen almost made him vomit the dinner he had just eaten. Third soul skill, triple shadow of the stick. Yang Zhen's figure suddenly retreated 2 steps, forcibly pulled the iron stick out of Huo Yuhao's hand, and then suddenly chopped it down. And with Yang Zhen's action, the iron stick in his hand actually split into 3, attacking Huo Yuhao from 3 directions. However, Huo Yuhao's movements were very flexible. From the beginning of the battle, his spiritual detection had been turned on. So although Yang Zhen's movements were fast, in his eyes, they were full of loopholes, even though Huo Yuhao's escape directions were blocked from 3 directions. Huo Yuhao still retreated continuously and dodged the attack. Yang Zhen was obviously a little surprised. Although his third soul skill was not dodged by anyone, it was after all a very small number. After Huo Yuhao dodged sideways, he kicked the ground with his right leg and rushed out like a tiger. His speed was so fast that Yang Zhen felt that he was not facing a spiritual attribute soul master, but a quick attack soul master. Huo Yuhao closed the distance between him and Yang Zhen and punched him. Bang! Yang Zhen had just seen Huo Yuhao's strength, so he naturally resisted at this moment. He blocked the iron rod in his hand across his chest. His fist hit the iron rod like forging iron. Yang Zhen's figure exploded back more than 10 steps, and he was horrified. This person's martial soul is not eyes, but a tiger. If he is not a soul master with a powerful beast martial soul, how can he have such a terrifying power? Yang Zhen thought that his strength was not weak in the realm of soul sect, but he was still at a disadvantage in the competition with Huo Yuhao. Huo Yuhao's punch just now hit the iron rod in his hand, paralyzing his hands and cracking his knuckles. Huo Yuhao did not hold back and pursued the victory, punching Yang Zhen one after another, making it difficult for him to cope. In the end, the whole person flew backwards and slid on the ground for more than 10 meters. Yang Zhen felt a surge of blood and almost spit out blood. From the beginning to now, he had no chance of winning this battle, and he was always at a disadvantage. Facing Huo Yuhao, Yang Zhen was desperate at the moment. As both of them were soul sects, the gap between him and Huo Yuhao was too big. How could Yang Zhen have thought that? Although Huo Yuhao was a soul sect, his first and fourth soul rings were already at the 10,000 year level. Two 10,000 year levels played a great role in strengthening his physical body. Now Huo Yuhao was only a soul sect, but the strength of his physical body was no less than that of an ordinary beast soul emperor. Chapter 53, One hit, one kill. After Huo Yuhao won the game, he was rewarded with 10 gold soul coins. After returning to the rest area, Zhu Zhuqing took back the bet of 500 gold soul coins and looked at Huo Yuhao with some joy. Brother Yuhao, this money came too easily. Zhu Zhuqing was a little surprised. When Huo Yuhao participated in the soul fighting, she ran to place a bet and directly won 500 gold soul coins. Huo Yuhao smiled slightly. The main reason for bringing Zhu Zhuqing to the Soto City soul fighting arena was to gain experience and increase combat experience. The second reason was to win money. Huo Yuhao believed in his own strength and Zhu Zhuqing's strength. Under normal circumstances, when the two faced opponents of the same level, it was impossible for them to lose. Although Huo Yuhao was only level 41, his strength had surpassed the level of Soul Sect. Even if he faced a Soul King, he had the confidence to fight him. Zhu Zhuqing had already broken through level 36, possessed the top martial soul, the netherworld spirit cat, and a 2000 year level 3rd soul ring, and his strength was much stronger than that of an ordinary soul lord. Therefore, Zhu Zhuqing's chances of winning were also very high. Unless she met a soul master who could restrain her, she could get gold soul coins by placing a bet. After Huo Yuhao's match, 2 more matches later, it was Zhu Zhuqing's turn to compete in the soul fighting match. Brother Yuhao, I'm going. Zhu Zhuqing stood up and looked at Huo Yuhao. Steady and steady, I believe in you. Huo Yuhao smiled. Zhu Zhuqing smiled and nodded. She was extremely confident, and after Huo Yuhao's encouragement, her confidence became even stronger. No matter what kind of opponent she faced, she was confident that she could win at this moment. After Zhu Zhuqing left the field, Huo Yuhao also went to the official handicap of the soul fighting field and bet 1000 gold soul coins on Zhu Zhuqing. Because Zhu Zhuqing was a newcomer, and her opponent was a soul master who had won 8 out of 13 matches and lost 5, the odds were 1 to 1.5. If Zhu Zhuqing could win, Huo Yuhao would get 1500 gold soul coins. Zhu Zhuqing was only 11 years old, but no one thought she was only 11 years old. Because her fiery figure is very deceptive. Whose 11-year-old girl has such a plump figure? After seeing Zhu Zhuqing, her opponent was also slightly stunned. Especially after seeing Zhu Zhuqing's fiery figure and cold face. His eyes became fiery and his eyes were very aggressive. Little girl, you shouldn't be here, and brother can't bear to hurt you. Let's do this. You admit defeat and we can fight in private. Brother will teach you what fighting is. This is a man in his 30s, tall and strong, with a pair of arms thicker than Zhu Zhuqing's. Of course, maybe it's because Zhu Zhuqing's waist is too thin, and the waist to leg ratio is very exaggerated. It's a pity that this is not a life and death battle, otherwise I will dig out your eyes and then kill you. Zhu Zhuqing frowned slightly and spit out these words coldly. How can a girl be so cruel? The man laughed, obviously not taking Zhu Zhuqing's words to heart. He scanned Zhu Zhuqing's figure unscrupulously. The battle of souls begins. Following the host's order, Zhu Zhuqing rushed out almost instantly. The netherworld spirit cat spirit possessed her body, and 3 soul rings, 2 yellow and 1 purple, emerged from her feet. She held a short dagger in her hand, and her figure was as swift as a ghost, leaving a trail of after images. Such speed. The man was shocked, and took it seriously. The best soul ring ratio of 2 yellow and 1 purple. He has already fallen behind in terms of soul ring comparison. I just hope that this young looking girl's soul power level is not high. Otherwise, he might be in trouble today. The man also released his martial soul in an instant, which was the Iron Claw Tiger, which was not weak among the beast martial souls. 3 soul rings emerged on his body, 1 white, 1 yellow and 1 purple. Although it was not the best soul ring ratio, it was not bad compared to ordinary soul masters. After the martial soul possessed him, the man's figure became more burly, and many black stripes appeared on his body, especially between his hands. A pair of tiger claws seemed to be made of steel, emitting a cold light. He strode towards Zhu Zhuqing, waving his iron claws towards Zhu Zhuqing's shoulder. However, the man was a spirit master of the beast spirit of the attack system, so his speed was a disadvantage. At this moment, he was facing the spirit of the netherworld spirit cat, which was known for its speed. This attack completely missed. Zhu Zhuqing dodged and came behind the man, and the 3rd spirit ring on her body shone brightly. Zhu Zhuqing actually used her most powerful spirit skill at the beginning. She waved the dagger in her hand and slashed down, and a dark blade burst out, so sharp that it seemed to be able to cut through the air. The man was shocked and regretted it secretly at this moment. His words just now had obviously angered Zhu Zhuqing. Although he was eloquent, and after seeing Zhu Zhuqing's fiery figure, he was indeed excited and boiling with anger. But in the battle, he would not be careless, and would go all out. But now, facing Zhu Zhuqing's 3rd spirit skill right at the beginning, he couldn't help but panic. Almost instinctively, he also used his 3rd spirit skill. 3rd soul skill, armor protection. A black light appeared on the man's body, revealing a black armor. However, before the armor covered his whole body, Zhu Zhuqing's attack had already arrived. The 3rd soul skill, Nether Slash. This is Zhu Zhuqing's strongest attack, which comes from the 2000-year-old Nether Leopard. At this moment, it is released with the help of the 3rd level soul guide, and the power is even more terrifying. Boom, the black armor on the man's body was cut in an instant, and the whole person flew out, leaving a deep blood mark from the left shoulder to the right waist. Ah! The man screamed. The flesh on his back was torn, and blood gushed out in an instant. He was knocked to the ground by the huge impact. As a 1000-year soul skill, his soul skill has not been fully released in time, and the defense is not at its strongest. Moreover, his 1000-year soul skill only comes from a 1200-year-old soul beast, while Zhu Zhuqing's 1000-year soul ring comes from a 2000-year-old soul beast. The strength of the soul skill is much stronger. Whether it was martial spirit, spirit ring, or spirit power level, the man was at a disadvantage from the beginning. He had no chance of winning this match. She defeated her opponent with 1 strike. This girl is so strong. She won the fighting spirit match so cleanly. Everyone in the audience was shocked. At first, they were just amazed at Zhu Zhuqing's appearance and figure, but now they were shocked by her strength. This girl didn't look very old, but she already had such a strong strength. It was really amazing. The fighting spirit is over. The newcomer Zhu Zhuqing Soul Master 1. Chapter 54 Brother Yuhao doesn't like me. After Zhu Zhuqing heard the host announce the result of the match, he turned around and left the fighting arena without looking at the man again. Although this match was not a life and death battle, but just a game, injuries were inevitable. Zhu Zhuqing had held back just now, otherwise this blow would have split the man in two. At this moment, the man fell in a pool of blood, with wounds running across his entire back. The wounds were very deep, and a lot of blood was flowing out at this moment. If it weren't for the fact that he was a beast spirit master and his physique was far superior to that of an ordinary person, he would probably have died of excessive blood loss at this moment. The man fell on the fighting arena at this moment, looking at Zhu Zhuqing with resentment, but at this moment, he was seriously injured and didn't even have the strength to curse. Moreover, the blow just now really scared him. At that moment, he really thought he was going to be killed. After Zhu Zhuqing's match, Huo Yuhao got 1,500 gold soul coins and found Zhu Zhuqing to reunite. The two left the Soto City fighting arena together and returned to the hotel. Along the way, Zhu Zhuqing was somewhat silent, as if she was disgusted by the man in the fighting arena and was not in a good mood at the moment. Brother Yuhao, does my figure really make men have the urge to commit crimes? Zhu Zhuqing asked this question abruptly. Huo Yuhao was stunned and then took a serious look at Zhu Zhuqing, who had a thin waist, long legs, proud breasts, and round buttocks. He said, I can say responsibly that it is difficult for normal men to resist a figure like yours. What about you, brother Yuhao? When Huo Yuhao looked at Zhu Zhuqing seriously, she blushed and suppressed her shame in her heart and asked boldly at this moment. Huo Yuhao swallowed his saliva, scratched his head, and then said, well, you are also very attractive to me. You are very beautiful and have a good figure. Zhu Zhuqing's ears were red when she heard this. She buried her head in her chest and said in a mosquito-like voice, brother Yuhao obviously had so many opportunities, why didn't he? At this point, Zhu Zhuqing's voice was almost inaudible. She knew her charm, not just because she believed it, but because she knew it. In today's battle, facing the opponent's unbridled fiery gaze, she felt very uncomfortable and even wanted to dig out the opponent's eyes. However, this also made Zhu Zhuqing further understand how hot her figure was. Then, she suddenly thought that it seemed that there had never been such a naked gaze in Huo Yuhao's eyes. Huo Yuhao was a little speechless. This girl was a little bold today. What kind of questions did she ask? Brother Yuhao, don't you like me? Zhu Zhuqing suddenly raised her head, and her originally cold eyes were now full of tenderness. She looked directly into Huo Yuhao's eyes, very seriously, and even instinctively looked away several times, and then quickly stared into Huo Yuhao's eyes. Huo Yuhao suddenly realized that the little girl in his eyes was actually not small in this world. If she were an ordinary person, I'm afraid Zhu Zhuqing would have married now, and maybe she would have children in a few years. The humans on Douluo Continent generally mature early, both physically and mentally. In Huo Yuhao's previous life, boys and girls aged 11 or 12 were considered adults. At this moment, Huo Yuhao could clearly feel that Zhu Zhuqing's feelings for him had begun to turn into love. Be with me, and don't think about the engagement with Dame Yubei. When we become stronger, I will accompany you back to the Douluo Empire and cancel the engagement with dignity. No one will be able to stop us. Huo Yuhao said. The engagement does not work for me. It is for the crown prince and crown princess of the Douluo Empire. And I'm just Zhu Zhuqing, not a crown princess, and I will never become one. Zhu Zhuqing said. Brother Yuhao. Zhu Zhuqing suddenly turned around and spread her arms. She looked at Huo Yuhao with a firm gaze at this moment. There were too many uncertainties in her heart, but she chose to trust her intuition. Huo Yuhao smiled slightly, then took a step forward and embraced the girl in front of the face man. Ding, Zhu Zhuqing's favorability +3. Current favorability is 93. Congratulations to the host for obtaining 30,000 luck points. Huo Yuhao was a little surprised. In the past, he could only get 1000 luck points for increasing his favorability by 1 point, but now he has gained 30,000 luck points after increasing his favorability by 3 points. When the favorability is increased to more than 90, the reward will be increased. When the favorability exceeds 95, the host will receive a special reward. The system explained in time, and Huo Yuhao finally understood. After the favor ability exceeds 90, each increase will receive a reward of 10,000 luck points, and when it exceeds 95 or 100, even more precious rewards will be obtained. When Zhu Zhuqing's favor ability exceeded 90, she received a 100,000-year-old lightning kingbird soul bone. I don't know what precious rewards she can get when her favor ability exceeds 95 or even 100. However, for Huo Yuhao, the relationship between him and Zhu Zhuqing no longer needs to be evaluated by the system. It would be better if he could get a reward, but if not, he would be satisfied. At night, Huo Yuhao and Zhu Zhuqing still spent their time in cultivation. However, after the relationship was confirmed, the relationship between the two became closer. At this moment, the soul power compatibility between the two was greatly improved. When they practiced together, the speed was a little faster. This was an unexpected surprise, which made Zhu Zhuqing even happier. When she was with Huo Yuhao, she almost did not have the coldness of the iceberg goddess, and there was only infinite tenderness in her eyes. In the next 3 months, Zhu Zhuqing made great progress. She took 2 Zuanshu pills, 2 body quenching pills, and 1 soul raising pill, and directly raised her soul power level to level 39. After taking the pills many times, the efficacy of the Zuanshu pill and the soul raising pill has been greatly reduced. However, for Zhu Zhuqing's improvement, Huo Yuhao naturally would not feel that it was a waste. Zhu Zhuqing's talent is not top notch, but it is also excellent. The soul power of the innate level 7 can successfully break through to the soul Douluo, but it is still difficult to break through the title Douluo realm. Now, after taking many Zuanshu pills, Zhu Zhuqing's talent has improved a lot. At least the speed of practice will not be slower than that of the innate full soul power. Breaking through the title Douluo in the future is almost a foregone conclusion. Moreover, Zhu Zhuqing practiced almost all of his training with Huo Yuhao. When their soul powers were compatible, the two of them practiced faster. In 3 months, Huo Yuhao also improved from level 41 to level 42. In the realm of Soul Sect, improving 1 level of soul power in 3 months was considered fast even for a soul master with full innate soul power. That night, Huo Yuhao and Zhu Zhuqing came to the Soto City Soul Fighting Arena as usual to participate in the soul fighting competition. Chapter 55 I will kill him at any cost. The soul fighting arena soul fighting levels are divided into an, copper, silver, gold, purple gold, sapphire, ruby, and diamond. There are 8 levels in total. Now, Huo Yuhao has obtained the gold soul fighting medal and is about to be promoted to the purple gold soul fighting medal. However, Huo Yuhao is now facing a difficulty, that is, there are not many soul masters at the gold soul fighting level in the Soto City soul fighting arena, so there are not many soul masters at the gold soul fighting level every day. Zhu Zhuqing is also about to be promoted to the gold soul fighting level. As long as she can win today's soul fighting match, her points will be enough for her to obtain the gold soul fighting medal. After paying 20 gold soul coins, Huo Yuhao took Zhu Zhuqing to the rest area of the soul fighting arena to wait for her match. At the same time, a group of 6 people also arrived at the Soto City soul fighting arena. They are 6 students from Shrek Academy. In the rest area of the soul fighting arena, Huo Yuhao turned around and happened to see 6 Shrek students headed by Damu Bei and Tang San. It's him. The moment they saw Huo Yuhao, both Damu Bei and Tang San's faces instantly darkened. They still cannot forget the humiliation Huo Yuhao brought to them 3 months ago. Huo Yuhao and Zhu Zhuqing defeated the 6 people from Shrek Academy. Moreover, Damu Bei and Xiao Wu were injured. Although they were not killed, they suffered a lot. Especially Xiao Wu, after being shot into her body by 3 dragon whisker needles from Tang San. Her flesh was torn, and she was in great pain. Therefore, after seeing Huo Yuhao, Xiao Wu was immediately anxious and wanted to rush up to settle the score. However, she was caught by Tang San. Xiao Wu, calm down. This is the Soto City Great Fighting Soul Arena. Conflicts between soul masters are not allowed. We will settle the score with them after we get out. Tang San's eyes were very cold, but very calm. They have undergone a transformation since 3 months ago. The last time they fell into Huo Yuhao's hands, only Daemubei among the 6 people from Shrek Academy reached the Soul Master realm. At this moment, Tang-san, Xiao Wu and Oscar have all broken through the Soul Master realm and their strength has increased significantly. Moreover, under Yu Xiaogang's hands, 3 months of training also made them make great progress. Although their spirit power level did not increase significantly, their physical fitness and combat ability were enhanced. At this moment, whether it was Tang-san or Daemubei, after seeing Huo Yuhao, they all wanted to fight again. Even if they were not opponents in a one-on-one fight, they could still fight in a group. Huo Yuhao had amazing eyesight and could naturally see the hostility of the people in Shrek Academy. However, he did not take it to heart. Instead, he smiled slightly and then turned his head away. I haven't even come to my door yet, but you can't wait to send yourself to my door to let me take advantage of you. Huo Yuhao sneered in his heart. Brother Yuhao, what are you laughing at? Zhu Zhuqing saw the smile on Huo Yuhao's face, as if he had encountered something happy. Look back. Huo Yuhao said. Zhu Zhuqing turned her head and her eyes suddenly became cold. She saw that annoying person, and her originally good mood suddenly became not wonderful. After 3 games, it was Zhu Zhuqing's turn to compete, and her opponent was also a woman. The next match will be between 2 soul masters of silver fighting spirit level. They are Zhu Zhuqing, the owner of the Nether Spirit Cat Martial Spirit, and Zuling, the owner of the Shadow Leopard Martial Spirit. By the way, this match will also be the promotion match for Zhu Zhuqing's Soul Master. Let's look forward to their performance. As Zhu Zhuqing and Zuling walked onto the fighting spirit field, the host announced the official start of the match. Especially when Zhu Zhuqing came on stage, the audience cheered. After all, this extremely beautiful girl with a hot body and strong strength was admired by many people. The people of Shrek Academy in the rest area were also surprised. They still remembered what happened in the small town hotel, but they didn't expect Zhu Zhuqing to be a soul master of silver fighting spirit level, and was about to break through to gold fighting spirit. One of the conditions for graduating from Shrek Academy is to obtain a fighting spirit medal of silver fighting spirit level. This is also the training goal of the 6 students of Shrek Academy in the next 3 months. Among them, Daemubei and Mahanjan are only at the iron fighting spirit level, and Tang-san and Xiao Wu have only participated in 1 competition and currently have 1 point. Oscar and Ning Rangrong, 2 auxiliary spirit masters, had never participated in a competition. They had just registered their spirit master information. Zhu Zhuqing had already won the silver fighting spirit medal. How could they not be surprised? After all, Zhu Zhuqing looked about the same age as them. Daemubei was even more stunned at this moment. What did he hear? Zhu Zhuqing. This girl turned out to be Zhu Zhuqing. Although Daemubei looked familiar, Zhu Zhuqing did not hold back at all when the conflict broke out in the town 3 months ago, and did not say her name. So Daemubei just thought it was just a spirit master who looked similar to Zhu Zhuqing. Now, he not only knew Zhu Zhuqing's name, but even her martial spirit was the Nether Spirit Cat. How could this be wrong? Zhu King. Daemubei said word by word, his evil eyes full of roars. He was at the back of the rest area, and could see the intimate behavior of Zhu Zhuqing and Huo Yuhao. His fiancé was staying with a strange man. As a man, how could he tolerate it? Xiao-san, if you are my brother, please help me. Daemubei first sought help from Tang-san, who may not have the strongest martial spirit cultivation in the team, but is actually the most terrifying. Boss Day, you say, I will kill that man, at any cost. Daemubei gritted his teeth and said. Tang-san looked at Daemubei in surprise. He naturally heard what Daemubei meant, that is, he wanted to use his hidden weapon to kill Huo Yuhao. I will kill him. Last time he dared to hurt Xiao Wu, he has already met his death. I can't let him go. Tang-san said. Well, we will do it after we leave the big fighting spirit field. Tang-san nodded. Zhu Zhuqing's game went very smoothly, and she won easily, and advanced to the gold fighting spirit. Her soul power level has reached level 39, which is the strongest in the soul master realm except for the level 40 quasi soul master. And the quality of the Nether Spirit Cat martial spirit is also higher than that of the Shadow Leopard, so there is no reason not to win. Huo Yuhao's match also came soon. He was already a gold fighting spirit, and the opponents he met were all very strong. In the field of Soul Sect, almost all of them had the best soul ring ratio of 2 yellow and 2 purple. Because of his own weak strength, it was impossible for him to obtain the gold fighting spirit medal. But Huo Yuhao was better after all. Although the martial spirit used by Huo Yuhao was the Spirit Eye, and the combat power was not strong, but in the same realm, almost no one could resist him, and his soul impact. Chapter 56. Joining Shrek Academy. Why? As Huo Yuhao and Zhu Zhuqing won more games, the odds of winning the game also decreased a lot. Of course, Huo Yuhao could earn hundreds or thousands of gold soul coins every time. Inevitably, the battle between Huo Yuhao and Zhu Zhuqing attracted the attention of the 3 people from Shrek Academy and the audience. Boss Fu, Huo Yuhao is the guy I encountered when I led the little monsters to hunt soul rings 3 months ago. He is extremely powerful. At that time, he was still a soul master, but he was able to defeat Mu Bei, Xiao Wu, Mahanjan and others by himself. That Zhu Zhuqing is also very strong. At least at the soul master level, the few little monsters in our academy are not our opponents. Xiao Wuji said to Flanders and Yu Xiao gang beside him. Oh, so outstanding. Flanders was a little surprised. After watching the games between Zhu Zhuqing and Huo Yuhao one after another, Flanders was very surprised. Whether it was Huo Yuhao or Zhu Zhuqing, they all defeated their opponents with overwhelming advantages. Yu Xiao gang pondered and said, Zhu Zhuqing's spirit is the Nether Spirit Cat. This spirit comes from the Duke's mansion of the Xingluo Empire. Maybe Mu Bei knows it. You can go and ask him about it. As for Huo Yuhao, his spirit seems to be eyes, but I have never seen such a spirit. With such powerful strength, the quality of his spirit cannot be low. Xiao Wuji suddenly remembered something and said quickly, when fighting with the little monsters, the spirit used by Huo Yuhao was definitely not eyes, but a spirit that was very similar to the blue silver grass. It can even be said that it was the blue silver grass. Twin spirits. Master Yu Xiao gang and Flanders reacted at the same time and exclaimed, twin spirits are so rare. Even in the entire continent, Yu Xiao gang knows of only 2 people with twin spirits. One is the current Pope of the Spirit Hall, Babi Dong, and the other is his disciple, Tang San. Could it be that Huo Yuhao is another twin spirit master? He doesn't look very old. Can he be attracted to our Shrek Academy? Flanders looked at Xiao Wuji. As the Dean of Shrek Academy, he naturally hopes that there will be more and more little monsters under his command. Soul Masters with twin martial souls are gifted and fully meet the admission standards of Shrek Academy. They are definitely monsters. But we had a conflict last time, so they probably won't be willing to enter our Shrek Academy. Xiao Wuji expressed his concerns. Besides, Huo Yuhao and Zhu Zhuqing's identities are probably not simple. They dared to directly enter the Stardao Great Forest to obtain spirit rings. How could they come out safely without powerful elders following them? Yu Xiao gang said, as far as I know, the Nether Spirit Cat Martial Soul and Mu Bei's White Tiger Martial Soul are very likely to have Martial Soul Fusion technique. If we can attract Zhu Zhuqing to our Shrek Academy, perhaps we will have an extra trump card in the future Soul Master competition. Flanders naturally has a deep understanding of the power of martial soul fusion skills. Because Yu Xiao gang and Liu Erlang have martial soul fusion skills, and they are martial soul fusion skills of 3 people. With 2 soul masters at the soul saint level and a soul master less than level 30, through the fusion of martial souls, they can burst out a powerful combat power second only to the title Douluo level. And one of the most famous martial soul fusion skills on the continent, the Nether White Tiger, is also very powerful. After being reminded by Yu Xiao gang, even Xiao Wuji was a little shaken. If Huo Yuhao and Zhu Zhuqing can join Shrek Academy, then they may not have to wait for 7 years. In the Soul Master competition 2 years later, Shrek Academy will have a great chance to achieve good results and even enter the finals. The master is eager to prove himself in the entire Soul Master world, and so is Flanders. If Shrek Academy can achieve good results in the Soul Master competition, then Shrek Academy will also be famous and will no longer be a wild chicken academy. Let's go. Huo Yuhao's game is over. Let's go see this little monster. Flanders was unwilling to give up and wanted to try. Uzayada Gang and Zhao Wuji also nodded, and they also wanted to get to know this genius who seemed to have twin martial souls. Do you want to stay and watch their game? Huo Yuhao looked at Zhu Zhuqing. No, our match is about to start. Zhu Zhuqing said. After the one-on-one match, Huo Yuhao and Zhu Zhuqing will go to the next door Douhan field for a 2-on-2 match. Before this, Huo Yuhao had been winning streak, so his Douhan medal was often one level higher than Zhu Zhuqing's. For example, before today, Huo Yuhao was a gold Douhan, while Zhu Zhuqing was only a silver Douhan, and their opponents were almost all 2 gold Douhan level soul masters. For ordinary people, such a 2-team 2 Douhan is not fair at all, and it is very likely to fall behind in the competition of strength. However, Huo Yuhao and Zhu Zhuqing are not ordinary people, and there are almost no opponents in their own realm. So the two of them have been winning streak in the 2-team 2 matches. The few times Zhu Zhuqing lost were when she encountered a control type soul master whose martial spirit just happened to restrain her and whose soul power level was higher than hers. In the passage, Huo Yuhao and Zhu Zhuqing walked towards the 2-team 2 competition venue, and 3 middle-aged men came towards them. Except for Zhao Wuji, they didn't know the other 2. However, after seeing Zhao Wuji, Huo Yuhao was able to judge the identities of the 2 by their clothes and temperament. Uzayada Gang, the master of the theory of the spirit master world, had a short haircut, simple clothes, and looked vicissitudes of life. Flanders, the dean of Shrek Academy, wore glasses, was tall and strong, and exuded the temperament of a shrewd businessman. You 3 blocked our way. Is there something wrong? Huo Yuhao looked calm and looked at the 3 people opposite. Flanders walked forward with a smile and said, "Hello, my friend. We just watched your game. It was very exciting. I didn't expect that in a place like Soto City, there would be such excellent young spirit masters like you." Huo Yuhao laughed and said, "Several students of your Shrek Academy are not bad. Oh, since you know the name of our Shrek Academy, then I won't waste any more words. I would like to invite you 2 to join our Shrek Academy." "Join you? Why?" Huo Yuhao said. "Since you know several students in our academy, you know their strength and talent. Our Shrek Academy only recruits students of monster level. I think under our training, you can reach a higher level and even become legends in the future Soul Master world." Flanders smiled slightly, very confident. Words are not enough. Shrek Academy is not well known. I don't know what can attract me to your academy. Huo Yuhao shook his head. "Please recommend and vote for the monthly ticket. Dear readers, please support the new book and rush to the new book list." Chapter 57. It's impossible to defeat me. Although our Shrek Academy is not well known, it has gathered a group of powerful senior spirit master teachers. Both I and Vice President Zhao Wuji are spirit saint level powerhouses who can provide great help when you need to obtain spirit rings. Also, Master Uzayada Gang, who is theoretically invincible on the continent, is also in our academy. He is responsible for guiding you in your training. You should have seen Tang-san. He is the master's apprentice." Flanders said, pointing to Uzayada Gang beside him. Uzayada Gang stepped forward, smiled confidently, and said, "I'm confident that I can make you even better. If I'm not mistaken, you have a twin martial soul. And I have mastered the method of cultivating twin martial souls. As long as you become my disciple, or join Shrek Academy, I can teach it to you." Huo Yuhao sneered and said, "Master Uzayada Gang, I have heard of you, but no matter how powerful your theory is, you are ultimately just a spirit master who has not yet broken through level 30. How can you guide the cultivation of spirit masters who are more advanced than you? Tang-san has already proved that my theory is correct. So my theory is naturally feasible for you." Uzayada Gang frowned. Huo Yuhao glanced at him and said, "I don't know how talented Tang-san is, but he is definitely one of the best in the continent. Do you think you have a lot to do with the fact that such a talented spirit master can grow to where he is today?" I've heard you say that there are no useless spirits, only useless spirit masters. So why don't you choose a spirit master with mediocre talent as your disciple? Or maybe you are such a useless spirit master yourself. After all, you haven't even broken through level 30 yet. Yu Xiaogang was furious, but he had no way to refute for a while. Tangsun is my disciple. His spirit is blue silver grass, which is recognized as a useless spirit in the spirit master world. But now he has broken through level 30 at the age of 12 and has become an outstanding control spirit master. This can prove what I said. Yu Xiaogang said stubbornly. What about you? Huo Yuhao said bluntly. Yu Xiaogang's face was pale. Yes, he kept saying that there are no useless spirits, only useless spirit masters, but his own spirit Luo Sanpao is a useless spirit, and he himself is also a useless spirit master. Also, I have no interest in your Shrek Academy. With my talent, I can go to any high-level spirit master academy I want, and what you have, any high-level spirit master academy has. And what they have, such as the mimic training place, you don't have. Huo Yuhao looked at Flender and said lightly, moreover, I have grown to this point. Do you know what kind of power is behind me? If Huo Yuhao may not have the confidence to say this before, but now, there is a title Douluo character summoning card stored in his system space, which can summon a title Douluo level strongman to support him. Facing these three people from Shrek, a titled Douluo is enough for them to die many times. Sure enough, Huo Yuhao's words made Flender, Zhao Wuji, and Yu Xiaogang's faces change at the same time. Flender said with a fake smile, the power behind my friend, is it the spirit hall? Huo Yuhao smiled, neither admitting nor denying. The girl next to you has the nether spirit cat spirit. There is a white tiger spirit in our academy. It is very likely that they have a spirit fusion skill. You should know the power of spirit fusion skills. Yu Xiaogang made his last effort. Upon hearing this, Zhu Zhuqing suddenly raised her head, and the coldness in her eyes seemed to overflow. She looked at Yu Xiaogang with extremely cold and sharp eyes. Yu Xiaogang could even feel the chill. That look was like a knife cutting his face. What's wrong? Am I wrong? Yu Xiaogang asked with all his strength. Zhu Zhuqing did not speak, but Huo Yuhao said, it's actually very simple to want us to join Shrek Academy. As long as your students can defeat us, then I will join Shrek Academy. Are you serious? Flanders asked. Of course I take it seriously, but I've seen their strength. Sorry, it's impossible for them to defeat the two of us. Don't waste time, the three of you. We have to complete today's mission. If we don't complete it on time, we will be punished by our elders. Huo Yuhao took Zhu Zhuqing's hand and walked straight past the three Shrek people. The three people from Shrek Academy watched the backs of Huo Yuhao and Zhu Zhuqing leaving with different expressions. Xiaogang, do you think this Huo Yuhao is from the Spirit Hall? Flanders asked. Yu Xiaogang shook his head and said, I don't know, but I think there is a powerful force behind them. A soul sect and a soul venerable, facing two soul saints and a completely negligible great soul master. They are not afraid at all. You know, the three of them are old hands who have been in the soul master world for many years. Once Huo Yuhao shows the slightest fear, he will be caught immediately. But in the conversation just now, Huo Yuhao's confidence came from the heart, and it was impossible to fake it. Then let the little monsters fight them. I don't believe that a little monsters can't beat them. Flanders snorted coldly. Huo Yuhao's words just now not only slapped Yu Xiaogang's face, but also slapped Flanders' face as the president of Shrek Academy. If you look down on our Shrek Academy, then let this Huo Yuhao see how powerful the little monsters are. Zhao Wuji was a little worried and said, in the battle 3 months ago, our little monsters lost miserably. Even if Tangsun used his special weapon, it was Zhao Wu who was hurt in the end. This kid is a ruthless person. If he holds our people hostage in the battle, then Tangsun's hidden weapon will not be able to play a role. Yu Xiaogang said, compared to 3 months ago, the little monsters now can be said to have been reborn. They have made great progress under my teaching. But 3 months ago Huo Yuhao was only a soul master, and now he is a soul sect. Zhao Wuji said bluntly. You are making rapid progress, so are others always standing still? This is indeed difficult. Flanders nodded. Although Huo Yuhao embarrassed him, he was eager to learn from such a talented spirit master. Because Huo Yuhao's joining would make the current Shrek 6 monsters even more powerful. Perhaps they would really be able to achieve good results in the all-continent high-level spirit master competition in 2 years. Yu Gang's face was gloomy, and after a long time, he said, then let Zhao challenge him, single-handedly, and use all means. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 58. Do you deserve it? You deserve your mother. That's a good idea. Tang San's hidden weapon will make even old Zhao suffer. It's no problem to defeat a soul sect. Flanders agreed. After all, no matter how strong a soul sect is, it's impossible for it to be stronger than a soul saint. Yu Gang's eyes were uncertain. Huo Yuhao's words just now obviously shocked him greatly. The fact that he didn't want to admit was now directly placed in front of him by Huo Yuhao. There are no useless martial spirits, only useless spirit masters. This sentence was just his way of comforting himself. Although Tang San's blue silver grass is a useless martial spirit, have you ever seen a useless martial spirit master with full innate spirit power? Moreover, twin martial spirits must be two martial spirits of the same quality. And the Clear Sky Hammer is still the strongest offensive weapon martial spirit in the continent. Tang San is a twin martial spirit master. One of his martial spirits is the Clear Sky Hammer, so the corresponding blue silver grass can never be a useless spirit. But with Yu Gang's cognition, he couldn't see what was so special about Tang San's blue silver grass. Huo Yuhao knew that, although Tang San's martial spirit was blue silver grass, it carried the blood of the blue silver emperor. When the blue silver emperor bloodline awakened, Tang San's blue silver grass martial spirit would become the top martial spirit. In the 2-on-2 fighting spirit area, Zhu Zhuqing looked at Huo Yuhao and asked, Brother Yuhao, is there really a big force behind you? Huo Yuhao smiled and said, if I don't say so, they won't let us go so easily. Zhu Zhuqing looked at Huo Yuhao, her big eyes bright and moving. Only when she saw Huo Yuhao, her cold eyes would show emotion. Brother Yuhao is really good at bluffing. I almost believed it just now. Zhu Zhuqing smiled. Huo Yuhao smiled and didn't say much. Although he didn't have a big force behind him, he had a titled Douluo summoning card. He could face most crises. If Flanders and others had forced people to stay just now, he wouldn't mind using this card. Of course, at that time it was no longer a simple escape, but a killing. Ding, the host has attacked Yu Gang, Flanders, and Zhao Wuji, and has gained 10,000, 8,000, and 6,000 luck points respectively. Huo Yuhao's eyes lit up when he heard the prompt sound of the system in his mind. He didn't expect that he could gain luck points by just talking nonsense. If so, he wouldn't mind saying a few more words to the self-righteous master Yu Gang. He was just a plagiarist who borrowed the power of Bibidang, read a large number of Wuhan Hall classics, and summarized a set of Soul Master system from them. Did he really think that his theory was invincible and that his talent was not appreciated? In fact, every big family knew the Soul Master theory mastered by Yu Gang, but they just didn't want it to be passed on to the lower class. In order to prove himself, Yu Gang directly compiled the so-called Soul Master theory into the so-called 10-core competitiveness of Wuhan. But what he didn't know was that many of the theories he sorted out had actually been eliminated and even had errors. A plagiarist who thinks he has mastered the arrangement dares to claim that his theory is invincible. Isn't this ridiculous? Even over the years, if Pope Bibidang had not been paying attention to Yu Gang's situation, perhaps such a disgusting person as Yu Gang would have been killed long ago. Huo Yuhao and Zhu Zhuqing's 2-on-2 fighting spirits also went very smoothly, and they easily won the victory. When they left the Soto City fighting spirit arena, it was already late at night. Huo Yuhao originally wanted to take Zhu Zhuqing directly back to the hotel, but suddenly changed the route and walked towards a hidden alley. Zhu Zhuqing didn't understand, but didn't ask anything. She knew that there must be something wrong, and she just needed to follow Huo Yuhao obediently. In the hidden corner, the night was dim, and several figures followed Huo Yuhao and Zhu Zhuqing closely. Huo Yuhao suddenly stopped and said lightly, "Come out. You actually discovered us. You are quite vigilant." Dame Bei's voice rang out, and it was very loud in this hidden corner. Behind Dame Bei were the other people from Shrek Academy. Tang-san, Xiao Wu, Oscar, Ning Rangrong, Mahanjin. All the students of Shrek Academy have arrived. However, the teachers such as Flanders did not show up. Even Dame Bei and others did not know what they did tonight. "Zhuqing, didn't you come here to find me? Why are you standing next to him?" Dame Bei pointed at Zhu Zhuqing, his eyes burning. At this moment, he forcibly suppressed the anger in his heart and asked with gritted teeth, "Call me by my full name, otherwise I will feel sick." Zhu Zhuqing looked at him coldly and then said, "No, I feel sick when I see you. What happened that you hate me so much? We have been engaged since childhood." Dame Bei showed a trace of pain, as if he was still trying to win back Zhu Zhuqing. "Since you ran away alone, our engagement has been invalidated. There is no relationship between you and me anymore. If there is, it can only be enemies," Zhu Zhuqing said. "Then tell me, who is he? Why did you two get together?" Dame Bei wanted to find out Huo Yuhao's identity, because Zhu Zhuqing, as the second daughter of the Zhu family of the Duke's Mansion of the Xingluo Empire, was not someone that anyone could hook up with. Zhu Zhuqing suddenly laughed, but it was just a sneer. She looked at Dame Bei with disdain, and didn't even want to look at him anymore. "You don't deserve to know who he is. Can't we sit down and talk about it? I think there is already some misunderstanding between us." Dame Bei continued to try. "Misunderstanding?" Zhu Zhuqing sneered and said, "There is no misunderstanding. I just saw what kind of bastard you are. Does that mean there is no room for discussion?" Dame Bei's face turned cold. Huo Yuhao couldn't stand it anymore and said directly, "Don't force it. If you want to fight. You followed us so far. You didn't come here to chat, did you? Boy, you dare to steal my woman. Dame Bei, you deserve to die." Dame Bei looked at Huo Yuhao, his eyes gushing with endless anger. "Your woman. Do you deserve it? You deserve your mother." Huo Yuhao said bluntly, "You're looking for death. Brothers, take action." Dame Bei's face was livid. Since he couldn't win the argument, he chose to attack directly. "Huo Yuhao, you hurt Xiao Wu last time. You must pay the price today." Tang-san also took action in an instant. "You dared to hit Sister Xiao Wu's butt last time. I have to get revenge." Xiao Wu's voice sounded. However, this made Tang-san stunned. In the battle 3 months ago, his opponent was mainly Zhu Zhuqing, so he didn't know that such a thing had happened between Xiao Wu and Huo Yuhao. This made him even more angry. He had already regarded Xiao Wu as a forbidden thing, but Huo Yuhao took advantage of him, which made his anger value maximum out. It seems that he was still 65th on the new book list yesterday, and he disappeared today. Chapter 59. Fight Shrek again. "You deserve to die," Tang-san said angrily. However, Huo Yuhao only glanced at him, and a golden light flashed in his eyes. Then, Tang-san fell straight down, as if struck by lightning. Tang-san, third brother. Dame Bei and others were shocked. They had never thought that Tang-san would fall down before they could make a move. What was going on? Xiao Wu quickly helped Tang-san up and called him a few times and finally woke him up. But after waking up, Tang-san broke out in a cold sweat. He covered his head tightly with both hands and curled up in pain. "Ah." Tang-san felt as if his head was pierced by thousands of needles. His head was splitting and his face was full of hideousness. "Do it." At this moment, Dame Bei didn't care and rushed forward directly to attack Huo Yuhao. White Tiger Protect Body. Third soul skill, White Tiger Vajra Transformation. As soon as Dame Bei made a move, he used the most powerful third soul skill. His muscles exploded, and his fierce power was infinite. A layer of golden light shone on his body, and his whole momentum increased greatly. He rushed forward, and sharp tiger claws burst out from between his 10 fingers, which could easily tear apart human flesh. Huo Yuhao was not in a hurry and just glanced at him. Spirit Eyes martial soul skill, soul impact. Ah. Daimube screamed as he rushed forward and stumbled and fell directly to the ground. He covered his head with both hands and his eyes were bloodshot when he looked at Huo Yuhao. What did you do? Daimube roared. At this moment, he felt as if his head was hit by a hammer, unable to move, and even shaking his head slightly felt extreme pain. You're asking for a beating. Xiao Wu rushed forward, moving her slender and round thighs to kick Huo Yuhao's head. However, Huo Yuhao just raised his hand and accurately grabbed Xiao Wu's leg. Little rabbit, isn't the lesson last time enough? Huo Yuhao laughed. Xiao Wu was immediately ashamed and angry. She didn't know whether Huo Yuhao was referring to the spanking last time or the use of her legs as a shield to block Tang San's dragon beard needles. She glared at Huo Yuhao, and in a flash, she escaped and came behind him in an instant. Xiao Wu stretched out her legs and wrapped them around Huo Yuhao's neck, holding Huo Yuhao's neck tightly, trying to suffocate Huo Yuhao. However, Huo Yuhao was much stronger than he was 3 months ago. He was able to break free 3 months ago, so it was easier now. Huo Yuhao grabbed one of Xiao Wu's legs with both hands and pulled her off his neck. Huo Yuhao took the opportunity to slap Xiao Wu's back, sending her flying and hitting the wall in the corner. While Xiao Wu was fighting with Huo Yuhao, the rest of the Shrek Academy also started fighting. Daimube struggled to stand up and roared as he rushed towards Zhu Zhuqing. Mahanjan also jumped high, opened his mouth, and spurted out a phoenix fire line, shooting towards Huo Yuhao. Ningrangrang released the 7 treasures glazed pagoda spirit, and 2 spirit skills bloomed at the same time, providing amplification for his companions. Oscar was a food type spirit master, and he had no combat power. At this moment, he could only use his spirit, and chanted a spirit spell. I have a big sausage, and I have a mushroom sausage. This obscene spell was what Oscar had to shout out when he released his spirit skills. At this moment, he released his first and third spirit skills. The recovery sausage and the rapid flight mushroom sausage. The recovery sausage can restore spirit power and heal injuries, while the rapid flight mushroom sausage can give the user the ability to fly, flying at the speed of a wine-tailed cockatoo for 1 minute. Boss day, Xiao Wu, fatty, Oscar shouted, and then threw the sausage in his hand to the 3 people. Huo Yuhao did not stop them, but just watched with interest. After Daimube, Xiao Wu and Mahanjan ate Oscar's 2 sausages, their conditions improved, and they flew directly into the air. They thought that at least they were in mid-air, and were already invincible. Oscar came to Tang San's side, helped him sit up, and then made another recovery sausage, and stuffed it into Tang San's mouth. At the same time, he felt very terrified. Just now, Huo Yuhao only looked at Tang San, and directly made this person who was actually the most powerful in Shrek Academy lose his combat power. Tang San still had a splitting headache at this moment. It was difficult for him to even stand up, let alone join the battle. After eating Oscar's recovery sausage, his pain was slightly relieved. On the other side, a melee had already begun. Huo Yuhao faced Xiao Wu and Daimube, while Zhu Zhuqing faced Mahanjan. Among the 3, only Mahanjan had not broken through to Soul Master, and was relatively weak. At this moment, facing Zhu Zhuqing, he felt even more pressured. But this was not bad, at least he didn't have to face Huo Yuhao. In Mahanjan's mind, Huo Yuhao's strength and means were obviously much stronger than Zhu Zhuqing. He thought that he was not a great soul master, and was far from being Zhu Zhuqing's opponent, but as long as he was in mid-air, he could constantly obstruct and harass Zhu Zhuqing, so that she could not help Huo Yuhao, and he would have completed the task. Zhu Zhuqing looked up at Mahanjan in the sky, feeling a little helpless. She had no ability to fly, and Mahanjan himself was very cautious. He flew more than 10 meters in the air, and from time to time, he sprayed a line of phoenix fire. Zhu Zhuqing's cultivation was stronger than Mahanjan, but she did not dare to directly resist the opponent's phoenix fire. Mahanjan had the assistance of Ningrangrang and Oscar, and his soul power recovered very quickly. As long as he did not abuse his soul skills wantonly, he did not have to worry about running out of soul power. Zhu Zhuqing dodged Ma Hongzhen's phoenix fire while observing the surrounding environment. Suddenly, she moved, and the first yellow soul ring on her body shone brightly. Then, Zhu Zhuqing's speed increased dramatically, and the whole person was as agile as the wind, and moved like a civet cat. She suddenly jumped to a platform more than 3 meters high, and then with the help of a fence, she jumped directly to a height of more than 10 meters. Ma Hongzhen stared at the scene in amazement, and then hurriedly flew higher. However, Zhu Zhuqing's speed was amazing. She jumped high, and the dagger in her hand suddenly slashed out, and a black blade light shot out. Nether slash. Ma Hongzhen's face turned pale, and he quickly turned sideways to dodge, but it was too late. Nether slash fell on Ma Hongzhen's shoulder, directly tearing the flesh and blood, leaving a deep bloody wound. The pain made Ma Hongzhen unable to keep his balance in midair, and he fell directly to the ground. Zhu Zhuqing's eyes were like water, and she looked at Ma Hongzhen coldly. On the other side, Huo Yuhao also faced Damu Bei and Zhao Wu flying in the air. His response was simple. As a blue light flashed on his body, dozens of blue-silver grasses soared into the sky and entangled with the two. Chapter 60 Blue-Silver Grass vs. Blue-Silver Emperor. One by one, the blue-silver grass stretched up from the ground like a spear, sweeping towards Zhao Wu and Damu Bei in midair. Huo Yuhao's blue-silver grass was much tougher than Tang San's. After all, his blue-silver grass was the emperor of the clan, and it was a top-level martial spirit. Moreover, among Huo Yuhao's 4 spirit rings, the first and fourth spirit rings were both 10,000 years old. The second and third spirit rings were both 1,000 years old. In the Shrek Academy trial, Tang San's third spirit skill, the 1,000-year-old spider web restraint, was difficult for Damu Bei to break free from, let alone Huo Yuhao's blue-silver emperor. The first and second spirit skills of the blue-silver emperor were thorns. Countless blue-silver grasses were intertwined, like a big net heading towards Damu Bei and Zhao Wu in midair. This was simply unavoidable, because the area covered was extremely large, and Damu Bei and Zhao Wu could only fly upwards continuously, trying to escape from the coverage of the blue-silver grass. However, the reason they had the ability to fly was entirely because of Oscar's flying mushroom sausage, and the duration of this flying mushroom sausage was only 1 minute. That is to say, after 1 minute, if they did not get a second flying mushroom sausage, they would completely lose their ability to fly and fall from the sky. At this moment, this originally narrow corner was almost completely covered by Huo Yuhao's blue-silver vines. For Damu Bei and Zhao Wu, there was no place to stay. Moreover, Oscar's flying mushroom sausage could not be sent out. While throwing it into the sky, Damu Bei and Zhao Wu did not dare to catch it. Therefore, they could only fly far away from the coverage of the blue-silver grass. However, although Damu Bei and Oscar were out of danger, Oscar and Ning Rangrang were in danger. Huo Yuhao did not intend to let these two go. They were also members of Shrek Academy, and they had just taken action, using their martial spirits to assist Damu Bei, Zhao Wu, Ma Hongzhen and others. Huo Yuhao turned around and looked at Ning Rangrang and Oscar. Beside him, the blue-silver grass grew very lushly. The vines were like strong ropes, tying up Oscar and Ning Rangrang, two auxiliary spirit masters who had no fighting ability at all. Huo Yuhao, what are you doing? Do you know who I am? Ning Rangrang shouted. She was now carried into the air by the blue-silver vines, tied up all over, unable to move, and even unable to release her spirit continuously. She was a little panicked, and shouted at this moment. Huo Yuhao glanced at her coldly and said, "Little princess of the 7 treasures glazed tile sect, I know you, but I didn't attack you last time. Do you really think I dare not touch you?" Ning Rangrang's face turned pale. At this moment, she was alone in Shrek Academy, surrounded by some monsters, and was not even afraid of the 7 treasures glazed tile sect behind her. This made her usual sense of superiority as the little princess of the 7 treasures glazed tile sect disappear. When she met Huo Yuhao at this moment, she wanted to reveal her identity, to make Huo Yuhao hesitate, but she didn't expect that Huo Yuhao had already known her identity and didn't care. On the other side, the battle between Zhu Zhuqing and Mahanjan was over. After losing the ability to fly, Mahanjan had no chance of winning against Zhu Zhuqing. He was knocked unconscious and lay on the ground. Daimyo Bei and Xiao Wu had also returned at this moment. They looked solemn and found that, although their strength was better than 3 months ago, Huo Yuhao and Zhu Zhuqing's strength had also greatly increased. Especially Huo Yuhao. Daimyo Bei and Xiao Wu faced Huo Yuhao at this moment, and even felt like they were facing Xiao Wuji, the vice president of Shrek Academy. It was impossible to defeat him, and even made people despair. Suddenly, Tang San opened his eyes. His face was still pale, but he had recovered at this moment. He was almost fainted by Huo Yuhao's soul shock just now. Although he had a splitting headache at this moment, he had recovered some combat power. He stood up and looked at Huo Yuhao with a particularly solemn look in his eyes, which was full of hatred. Huo Yuhao believed that, if ice could kill, he would have died countless times. Obviously, in Tang San's mind, he was already guilty of a heinous crime and deserved death, and he had to die thousands of times to relieve his hatred. Of course, Huo Yuhao's gaze could kill people. If the enemy's mental power was too weak, he could kill people with his mental power. A soul shock would make the opponent a fool if he didn't die. Huo Yuhao discovered that Tang San's mental power was far superior to that of soul masters at the same level. Even if he couldn't beat Huo Yuhao, he was comparable to an ordinary soul master. This was because the purple magic pupil that Tang San cultivated not only had amazing vision, but also outstanding mental power. Huo Yuhao was still a little afraid of Tang San's hidden weapons. The dragon beard needle was really powerful, and even Xiao Wuji, who was at the soul saint level, would suffer a lot if he was not careful. Naturally, he didn't dare to be careless. He attacked Tang San directly, and countless blue silver grass came like a tide, entwining Tang San. Tang San actually reacted after the battle 3 months ago. Huo Yuhao's martial soul seemed to be very similar to blue silver grass, and it could even be said to be blue silver grass. He was puzzled. Why was Huo Yuhao's blue silver grass so powerful and could directly crush him? Third soul skill, spider web binding. Tang San recovered. Although he was not in good combat condition, he could still release soul skills. Therefore, he immediately released his most powerful third soul skill, spider web binding. Even Daimyo Bei, the most powerful in Shrek Academy, had difficulty breaking free from this soul skill. At this moment, Tang San could only hope for this soul skill. However, after Tang San's blue silver grass approached Huo Yuhao, it was like a commoner seeing the emperor. It didn't dare to move forward and curled up in place, trembling. What did you do to my martial spirit? Tang San was puzzled. His blue silver grass was actually resisting and unwilling to attack Huo Yuhao. Tang San could even feel that his martial spirit seemed to be in fear and was completely crushed when facing Huo Yuhao. Blue silver grass, it's really a useless martial spirit. Huo Yuhao said disdainfully. Blue silver grass is indeed a useless spirit. Even though Tang San's blue silver grass has the blood of the blue silver emperor, it is not strong before it awakens. Tang San's face was gloomy, and he immediately put his hands on the 24 Bridges Moonlit Night on his waist. For Tang San, the spirit has never been the biggest reliance, but the secret skills of the Tang sect that he learned secretly are. At this moment, the spirit can't do anything to Huo Yuhao, so he instinctively wants to use hidden weapons. What are you doing? Suddenly, a middle-aged man's voice sounded, and the 6 people of Shrek Academy were shocked at the same time. Because they are too familiar with this voice. At the exit of the alley, Yu Xiao Gang, Flanders, and Xiao Wuji appeared. Chapter 61 Admit Mistake and Apology. Stop it. Flanders shouted. In this narrow alley, the 6 people from Shrek Academy were in a mess. They were no match for Huo Yuhao and were crushed. After Flanders and the other 2 arrived, they immediately confirmed the situation. Fearing that their little monsters would be injured, they could only shout to stop them. Huo Yuhao wanted to attack, but the 6 people from Shrek Academy stopped and quickly retreated to the side of Flanders and others. My friend, we meet again. Flanders stepped forward and smiled. Huo Yuhao waved his hand and took away the blue silver vines around him. He came to Flanders and asked, "Is this your attitude, to invite me to Shrek Academy? Let your students follow us and then take action?" My friend, this is a misunderstanding. We are not aware of this matter. I just arrived. Flanders explained quickly. Obviously, he did not want to lose such a genius. If it is possible to let Huo Yuhao join Shrek Academy, then he will definitely spare no effort and strive for it. After all, although the 6 students of Shrek Academy are extremely talented, they are too young and their talents have not yet been transformed into strength. The Continental High-Level Soul Master Student Competition will be held in 2 years, and they don't have much time. If Huo Yuhao and Zhu Zhuqing can join the Shrek Academy team, then they can raise the upper limit of Shrek Academy and achieve a good result in the competition. Misunderstanding? Huo Yuhao sneered and said, "Then let them admit their mistakes to me, otherwise this matter can't be let go." Impossible. Damubei flatly refused. He came with the purpose of killing Huo Yuhao, so how could he admit his mistakes? Then there is no need to talk about it. I think Shrek Academy has no need to exist, Huo Yuhao said coldly. Flanders frowned when he heard this, and he was unhappy in his heart, but he didn't dare to show it at this moment. He didn't completely believe Huo Yuhao's words. If he wanted to destroy Shrek Academy, at least a titled Douluo level strongman would be able to do it. And Huo Yuhao has such outstanding talent and courage, it is impossible for him not to have a strong man behind him. Flanders was a little hesitant. Shrek Academy was his life's work. If he was destroyed by the strong man behind Huo Yuhao because of provoking him, he would regret it. My friend, I apologize to you on behalf of Shrek Academy. How about we let this go? Flanders was good at calculating. Although this sentence was a bit embarrassing, he didn't mind if it could avoid trouble. That's it. Huo Yuhao didn't show any mercy and said directly, "Do you really think I have a good temper? If I were not strong enough, I'm afraid I would have died in the hands of your students today. Do you think it's possible for me to let this go and not care about it with just a few words?" Huo Yuhao took a step forward. His eyes were burning and his momentum was strong. Even if he was facing a strong man at the Soul Saint level at this moment, he had the confidence to not even take it seriously. Flanders' face was a little ugly. Zhao Wuji snorted coldly, "Boy, don't go too far." Hearing this, Huo Yuhao's eyes became even colder, and he said, "I don't cause trouble, but I'm not afraid of it either. Your students want to kill me, but now they think I'm going too far. Don't you think that with the strength of you 2 Soul Saints, you can protect these students, and think I'm easy to bully?" Huo Yuhao was determined, and would not give in. The 6 people from Shrek Academy had obviously made a move to kill him. This time, even if he had to use the title Douluo character summoning card, he had to respond. Of course, for him, the title Douluo character summoning card, that only cost 100,000 luck points would naturally not be used if possible. Flanders thought for a while, and said in a deep voice, "Mubei, apologize." Damubei looked at Flanders in disbelief. He didn't expect the dean to choose to give in. Is this still the domineering dean who said those who dare not cause trouble are mediocre dean? Damubei wanted to say something. "Apologize." Flanders shouted. Damubei looked at Zhao Wu, Tangsun and others behind him. He also realized at this moment that Huo Yuhao probably came from a big power, otherwise, as a dean of the Soul Saint level, he would not give in at this moment. Several teachers of Shrek Academy, headed by Flanders, are well known for protecting their shortcomings. If they choose to give in at this moment, then Huo Yuhao must have someone behind him that even Flanders and others don't want to provoke. Damubei saw the situation clearly, although he was extremely reluctant in his heart and even felt extremely humiliated. At this moment, he had to step forward and bend to Huo Yuhao. "Zio-san, be patient first. There will be plenty of opportunities for revenge in the future." Yu Xiaogang whispered. "Yes." Tangsun lowered his head, trembling all over, with murderous intent in his eyes, and it was unknown what he was thinking. Damubei, Tangsan, Zhao Wu, Oscar, and Mahanjan admitted their mistakes and apologized. But Ningrangrang was fearless. She was originally a little witch of the 7 treasures glazed tile sect. Even if she was worn down a little in Shrek Academy, she would not apologize to Huo Yuhao at this moment. You want me to apologize? That's impossible. At most, I can ask Grandpa Jian and Grandpa Gu. I don't believe that the power behind you can compare with my 7 treasure glazed tile sect. Ning Rang Grang thought to herself. Huo Yuhao didn't care. After Damu Bei, Tangsun and others apologized, he said with a smile, a good child is one who can correct his mistakes. Today's matter ends here. I look forward to you coming to trouble me next time. Huo Yuhao turned around and left with Zhu Zhuqing. Flanders hurriedly asked, Huo Yuhao, does the bet we made in the Great Fighting Soul Arena still count? Of course it counts. Huo Yuhao replied. After returning to the hotel, Zhu Zhuqing said, Brother Yuhao, you are really amazing and really good at bluffing. 2 Soul Saint level strongmen were stunned by you. Huo Yuhao hugged Zhu Zhuqing's waist and sat on the sofa in the hotel room. Listening to the prompt sound of the system in his mind, he smiled brightly. Being able to bluff is also a skill, isn't it? Huo Yuhao said with a smile. But it's still too risky, Brother Yuhao. If the 2 Soul Masters of Shrek Academy don't believe you, then we will be in danger today. Zhu Zhuqing was a little scared. They can't find any opponents in the same age group at the moment, but if they face the senior Soul Masters of the older generation, they are still too weak. How do you know I don't have any trump cards? Huo Yuhao asked back. Zhu Zhuqing was a little surprised and asked, what trump cards? When you really need to show your trump cards, you will know, and it will definitely surprise you. Chapter 2 has been reviewed. Chapter 62. Love is stronger than gold. Loyalty is more than locked. Huo Yuhao smiled and said, maybe I'm still a little afraid of the title Douluo, but the 2 Soul Saints of Shrek Academy are still a little bit behind. Then I will wait and see. Zhu Zhuqing's eyes lit up, and she sat on Huo Yuhao's lap, holding her arms around Huo Yuhao's neck and resting her head on his chest, feeling extremely relieved. She naturally believed what Huo Yuhao said. As long as she stayed by Huo Yuhao's side, she didn't have to worry about her safety anymore. It felt really good to be protected. Ding, the host defeated Tang San, Damu Bei, Xiao Wu, Oscar, Mahangjin, and Ning Rangrong, and obtained the luck value of 50,000, 10,000, 10,000, 10,000, 10,000, and 10,000 respectively. Ding, the host attacked Shrek Academy and obtained the luck value of 50,000. In this wave, Shrek Academy directly sent 150,000 luck points to Huo Yuhao. Now, Huo Yuhao's luck value has reached 390,000. With such a huge amount of luck, Huo Yuhao could hardly suppress his excitement and started to open the treasure chest directly. Brother Yuhao, let's go practice. Zhu Zhuqing's face flushed a little, and her fiery figure twisted in Huo Yuhao's arms. No hurry. Huo Yuhao said seriously, you have experienced 2 battles today, and you must be tired. I will give you a massage to relax. Huo Yuhao's hands kept measuring Zhu Zhuqing's body, feeling the softness and smoothness of the delicate body in his arms. Zhu Zhuqing was not tired at first, but at this moment she felt that her whole body was soft, her face flushed, and her whole body was weak. She could only bury her head in Huo Yuhao's arms and silently enjoy his massage. As Huo Yuhao's movements became more and more unbridled, Zhu Zhuqing couldn't help but let out a comfortable moan. The fullness of her chest kept rising and falling, her little mouth slightly opened, and her breath was like orchid. System, open the silver treasure chest twice. Ding, 200,000 luck points have been deducted. Ding, the silver treasure chest has been opened. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the super lock produced by Tang Shenwang. Love is stronger than gold. Ding, the silver treasure chest has been opened. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the super Douluo character summoning card. Huo Yuhao was delighted at first. It was another title Douluo character summoning card, and this time it was a super Douluo level character summoning card. In this way, he had 2 summoning cards on him, which could summon an ordinary title Douluo and a super Douluo. This was undoubtedly another trump card that could save his life in a critical moment. Suddenly, Huo Yuhao was stunned. Love is stronger than gold. Chastity lock. What the hell is going on? Super Douluo character summoning card. Can summon a Super Douluo who will appear in 10,000 years to fight for the host once. Love is stronger than gold. Chastity super lock. Produced by Tang Shenwang. Can only be used on women and cannot be removed by non-god king level strongmen. After use, bind a man, and the bound man will not be able to touch the woman with a chastity lock. Otherwise, there will be a great backlash. Fuck. Huo Yuhao whispered. He remembered that in the original plot, even after Huo Yuhao became the god of emotions, he could not sleep with Tang Wutang. Tang Shenwan called it a test whether you really love Wutang. I'll go to hell. Huo Yuhao was very angry. Even though this matter was impossible to happen, he still felt angry. But now, Huo Yuhao showed a hint of compatibility. System. Use the love is stronger than gold. Chastity super lock. Use the object. Zio Wu. Bind the object. Tang-san. Huo Yuhao gave instructions in his mind. Ding. The love is stronger than gold super lock has been used successfully. Huo Yuhao could think that this kind of visible and intangible feeling was the most maddening. Of course, at this moment, Tangsan and Zio Wu still referred to each other as brother and sister. In the original novel, Huo Yuhao and Tang Wutang were already husband and wife, but they still couldn't touch each other and couldn't even have sex. Is this still a human being? Obviously, King Tang did not regard Huo Yuhao as a son-in-law, but a tamed watchdog. On the other side, in Shrek Academy, Zio Wu sat on the roof and looked at the night sky, feeling very bad. She was forced to admit her mistakes to Huo Yuhao today, which obviously made her feel very humiliated. Who is she? Sister Zio Wu of Notting Academy, the two big sisters of the forest overlords of the Stardow Great Forest. When has she ever suffered such grievances? She was very angry. Tang San's figure suddenly appeared behind Zio Wu. Third brother, you are here. Zio Wu didn't look back, and she already knew it was Tang San. Zio Wu, I'm sorry, I failed to protect you again. Tang San's eyes were full of pity, and he felt very guilty towards Zio Wu. Brother San, it's okay. Huo Yuhao is too powerful, but I believe you will be stronger than him in the future. Zio Wu forced a smile, not wanting to put too much pressure on Tang San. Zio Wu. Tang San felt very distressed. In the battle with Huo Yuhao 3 months ago, Zio Wu was seriously injured and suffered a lot. And today, facing Huo Yuhao again, he was still powerless. Zio Wu was also crushed and teased in front of Huo Yuhao. He felt very distressed. Sitting next to him in the hut, he wanted to hug Zio Wu in his arms and love her. However, when Tang San's hand just touched Zio Wu's shoulder, it was quickly withdrawn, as if he had been electrocuted. Tang San looked at his fingers. At that moment, his fingers seemed to be pricked by a needle, which was very painful. However, when he looked at his fingers, he did not find any wounds. Brother, what's wrong? Zio Wu noticed Tang San's abnormality and asked. Nothing. Tang San shook his head. The pain was gone now. He thought it was just his illusion. Zio Wu took the initiative to lean towards Tang San's shoulder. Tang San also stretched out his arms to hug Zio Wu. However, at the moment when the two hugged each other, Tang San suddenly let out a painful scream. His face became distorted, and his body was directly bounced out and fell from the roof to the ground. Third brother. Zio Wu was frightened. Seeing Tang San's appearance, she quickly jumped down from the roof and was about to help Tang San, who was curled up in pain on the ground. However, when Zio Wu's hands just touched Tang San seemed to be hit again. An extremely powerful energy emerged from Zio Wu's body and shook Tang San out. Tang San's body directly hit a wooden house. The wooden house was not strong to begin with, and it collapsed at this moment, burying Tang San underneath. Third brother. Tang San. Zio Wu was shocked and didn't understand why. She didn't even realize that it was her own problem. She ran towards Tang San and wanted to dig him out. The other people in Shrek Academy were also alarmed by Tang San's screams and the collapse of the wooden house. They walked out of the room to check the situation. Brother San, what's wrong with you? Zio Wu asked worriedly. Don't touch me. Tang San almost yelled out. He was in great pain, as if his soul was burned by flames. Chapter 63. Today's 2 chapters violated the rules. Brothers, please wait and see tomorrow. I will ask the editor about the situation. Chapter 64. Level 4 Soul Guidance Device. Hearing Tang San's roar, Xiao Wu was stunned. After all these years together, Tang San had never spoken to her in such a tone. This scene obviously frightened her. Brother San, what's wrong with you? Xiao Wu was at a loss. She wanted to help Tang San up, but she didn't dare to get close. Tang San curled up on the ground. The shock that seemed to come from his soul just now made him still in pain. He didn't know what happened at all. Just touching Xiao Wu would cause him great pain. Yu Xiao Gang and others also gathered and looked at Tang San with a worried look. Xiao Wu, what's going on? Seeing his disciple in such pain, Yu Xiao Gang couldn't help but be anxious and asked Xiao Wu the reason. I don't know either. Xiao Wu was so anxious that she wanted to cry. The pain lasted for a quarter of an hour and Tang San gradually calmed down. He could feel that the pain was slowly subsiding. In the past quarter of an hour, he seemed to be wandering between life and death. His soul was torn apart, as if hundreds of dragon whisker needles were pierced into his body. Tang San was in a state of disgrace at the moment. His body was covered with dirt and dust. His face was pale, as if all the strength in his body had been drained, so weak that he couldn't even lift a finger. Third brother. Xiao Wu approached Tang San. Her face was misty with tears, and she was almost scared silly. Xiao Wu, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have spoken to you in that manner. Tang San recovered, feeling guilty. It's okay. Third brother, how are you now? Xiao Wu didn't care, but was concerned about Tang San's situation. I'm much better now, but what happened just now? Why did I feel like I was hit hard and in pain as soon as I touched you, and my soul was about to be wiped out? Tang San frowned tightly, not knowing why. I don't know either. Xiao Wu felt a little aggrieved. Yu Xiao Gang came forward, subdued Tang San, and asked with concern. Xiao San, what happened to you? Teacher, I don't know what happened either. Tang San shook his head and told Yu Xiao Gang everything that had just happened. After listening to Tang San's narration, Yu Xiao Gang frowned. He had never seen such a situation before, and even the classics he had read in the spirit hall had not recorded it. Everyone go to rest first. Tang San, you should rest early too. Flanders saw that Yu Xiao Gang had no choice but to let the students rest first. It was already late at night. In order to train tomorrow, they needed to rest as soon as possible or restore their soul power through meditation. Damu Bei and Oscar helped Tang San back to the room, while Xiao Wu looked at Tang San's back and was very worried. Half a month passed in a flash. During this time, Huo Yuhao and Zhu Zhuqing stayed in Soto City and went to the Soto City Soul Fighting Arena every night to participate in the soul fighting. However, in a small city like Soto City, there are very few soul masters with the gold soul fighting medal, so Huo Yuhao and Zhu Zhuqing are not able to participate in the competition every night. Sometimes only the two of them signed up, and the two participating parties were themselves. Of course, Zhu Zhuqing is far from Huo Yuhao's opponent. At Zhu Zhuqing's strong request, Huo Yuhao did not give up, but fought with Zhu Zhuqing with all his strength. In the battle between the two, Zhu Zhuqing made great progress, and her accumulation of soul power became deeper and deeper. Soon, Zhu Zhuqing will be able to break through level 40, and then she will be able to go to the Stardao Great Forest to obtain the 4th soul ring. That night, the soul fighting ended. Huo Yuhao was about to leave the soul fighting field with Zhu Zhuqing, but met 3 people from Shrek Academy. Flanders, Yu Xiao Gang, and Zhao Wuji. Huo Yuhao, I'm here to invite you to join Shrek Academy. Flanders said. On that night half a month ago, Flanders saw Huo Yuhao's terrifying fighting power again. In his hands, several people from Shrek Academy seemed to have lost the aura of monsters and became vulnerable. Even if several people joined forces, they were still no match for Huo Yuhao. As geniuses, the gap was too big. Huo Yuhao said calmly, if you want me to join Shrek Academy, it's very simple. As long as your student dog can defeat me, I will join. Then let's make an appointment. When you are free, I will send a student to fight you. Flanders asked. Then let's do it tomorrow night, in this Soto City Great Fighting Soul Arena. Huo Yuhao said. Okay. Flanders agreed. Huo Yuhao didn't say much, and took Zhu Zhuqing directly out of the Soto City Great Fighting Soul Arena, and returned to the hotel. After eating the dinner prepared by the hotel, Huo Yuhao sat on the sofa in the living room, fiddling with many metal blocks on the coffee table. He was trying to make a 4th level soul guide. Huo Yuhao's talent in making soul guides is extremely high, but because he really spends very little time on this, he has not yet made a soul guide that matches his own cultivation. Of course, with Huo Yuhao's cultivation as a 3rd level soul guide, he can already fully arm himself with 3rd level soul guides, and can make many soul guide guns and cannons, to arm himself into a turret. However, for him, the role of soul guides is ultimately limited. Because his own martial soul cultivation is really too strong, it is difficult to find an opponent in the same level. Even if he is armed with soul guide guns and cannons, it may still limit the use of his martial soul combat power. Therefore, Huo Yuhao has focused on learning the production of melee soul guides so far. Zhu Zhuqing's cultivation is about to break through level 40 and become a soul master. The 3rd level melee soul guide is obviously no longer suitable as their weapon. It is time to upgrade. The metal materials used to make 4th level soul guides are much more expensive than the materials used to make 3rd level soul guides, but for Huo Yuhao, nothing can be more important than improving his strength. Gold soul coins can be earned again. Huo Yuhao found a shop in Soto City to sell soul guides. Soul guides were not popular in this era. For soul masters, soul guides were mostly storage devices. Although many people have seen melee soul guides in classics, they have never seen the real thing. Therefore, the soul guides sold by Huo Yuhao are very expensive and there is no market for them. This is just in a small city like Soto City. When Huo Yuhao goes to Xiandao City in the Xiandao Empire, he will directly auction his soul guide in the auction house, and he will definitely be able to sell it at a higher price. Zhu Zhuqing sat beside Huo Yuhao, and after watching quietly for a while, she felt bored and returned to her room to practice. Huo Yuhao spends a lot of time every day learning how to make soul guides. For him, martial soul training is a compulsory course that takes a lot of time, and soul guide learning is an elective course. Although he doesn't want to give up, he is also unwilling to spend too much time on this. Huo Yuhao is going to make a 4th level soul guide shield and a 4th level soul guide dagger. They are all prepared for Zhu Zhuqing. How to say it. Chapter 2 has been reviewed again. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 65 Battle with Tang San. For him, the soul guide device was not very helpful to him, because both the Blue Silver Emperor martial soul and the White Tiger martial soul had strong combat power. After working for an hour, Huo Yuhao finished work on time. Now this soul guide shield has been completed for the most part, and it will be successfully made in 2 days. This is the first time Huo Yuhao has made a 4th level soul guide device, so the process is very slow and must be very careful, otherwise it is very likely to fail. Huo Yuhao went to the bathroom and took a simple shower and then went into the room. At this moment, Zhu Zhuqing was sitting cross-legged on the soft big bed, meditating with her eyes closed. The movement of Huo Yuhao entering the room was very small, but it still startled Zhu Zhuqing. She opened her eyes and saw Huo Yuhao standing by the bed at this moment. Brother Yuhao, come quickly. Zhu Zhuqing stretched out her hand to Huo Yuhao. Huo Yuhao smiled slightly, sat cross-legged opposite Zhu Zhuqing, and the two put their hands together and began to practice. There was no conversation all night. The next evening, Huo Yuhao and Zhu Zhuqing came to the Soto City Fighting Soul Arena as usual. Here, Huo Yuhao and Zhu Zhuqing met everyone from Shrek Academy, led by Flanders, Yu Xiao Gang, and Zhao Wuji. The 6 students from Shrek Academy were all present. Huo Yuhao, I'm sending Tangsun to fight. If you win, I hope you can keep your promise. Flanders said. Huo Yuhao nodded and said, I will keep my promise, but you have to beat me first. Huo Yuhao and Tangsun walked up to the registration counter at the same time. All along, whether it was Huo Yuhao and Zhu Zhuqing, or the 6 people from Shrek Academy, they were all playing the game of 3 kinds of fighting spirits. At this moment, Huo Yuhao and Tangsun were going to have a gambling fight. Under the witness of the Great Fighting Soul Arena, the winner would get the bet. The bet of Huo Yuhao and Tangsun's battle was whether to join Shrek Academy. Of course, Huo Yuhao had no interest in joining Shrek Academy. However, through this gambling fight, he can once again fight with Tangsun and witness Tangsun's strongest strength. Of course, the main purpose is that Huo Yuhao can gain luck points from this gambling fight. Otherwise, he is unwilling to do something that is thankless. Because there are not many soul masters who signed up for the gambling fight, it was Tangsun and Huo Yuhao's turn to compete soon after signing up. Huo Yuhao is already a soul master at the level of soul sect, while Tangsun is only at the level of soul venerable. However, it was agreed that both parties can use all means in the process of fighting souls, as long as they can win. In the fighting soul field, Huo Yuhao and Tangsun stood opposite each other, waiting for the fighting soul to begin. In the audience, a group of people from Shrek Academy surrounded Flanders. Zhu Zhuqing sat alone, looking at the fighting soul field, staying on Huo Yuhao. Zhu Zhuqing thought that this fighting soul was completely unnecessary, because Huo Yuhao's strength was too strong, not to mention Tangsun. Even ordinary soul masters at the level of Soul King could not be his opponent. Therefore, Zhu Zhuqing thought that Shrek Academy was completely wasting time and effort. Moreover, even if they joined Shrek Academy, what would happen? Huo Yuhao and Zhu Zhuqing had already formed hatred with the 6 people of Shrek Academy, which could not be resolved. Boss Day, is this Huo Yuhao really going to join our academy? Mahanjan's face looked a little bad. They had 2 conflicts with Huo Yuhao, and they had suffered a lot. If Huo Yuhao really joined Shrek Academy, would they still have a good life in the future? Daemubei's face was gloomy, and he naturally did not want Huo Yuhao to join Shrek Academy. Of course, if Zhu Zhuqing could join Shrek Academy, he would agree with both hands. Whether it was Huo Yuhao or Zhu Zhuqing, as long as one of them could join Shrek Academy, their team strength would have a qualitative breakthrough. Not to mention Huo Yuhao's strong personal combat ability. Just Zhu Zhuqing's martial soul fusion skills with the White Tiger martial soul as the Nether Spirit Cat martial soul would greatly increase the team strength of Shrek Academy. The martial soul fusion technique is a powerful means to overturn the situation of the battle and can be used as a trump card. Daemubei's eyes shifted back and forth between Huo Yuhao and Zhu Zhuqing. He hoped to reconcile with Zhu Zhuqing, but he was unwilling to let Huo Yuhao join Shrek Academy. Because even if Zhu Zhuqing joined Shrek Academy, as long as Huo Yuhao was around, Daemubei would not be able to get close to Zhu Zhuqing, let alone repair the relationship between the two. And his title as a boss would also be lost. The dean has his reasons for making such an arrangement, and we can't change anything. Daemubei said. The people of Shrek Academy still have confidence in Tangsun, because Tangsun's strength is not only reflected in his martial soul cultivation. Tangsun's hidden weapon is the most terrifying. That is a powerful means that can injure Zhao Wuji. How can Huo Yuhao, who is only a soul sect, compare with Zhao Wuji at the soul saint level? The battle of souls begins. With the referee's shout, Huo Yuhao and Tangsun released their martial souls at the same time. Martial soul, spirit eyes. Martial soul, blue silver grass. The spirit you used last time should be blue silver grass. Why don't you use that spirit? Tangsun asked solemnly. Huo Yuhao said, this spirit can deal with you. Tangsun didn't say much. He would rather face Huo Yuhao's blue silver grass spirit than this spirit. The last time Huo Yuhao glared at him, he lost his ability to fight. If Huo Yuhao suddenly did that this time, he wouldn't even be able to use his hidden weapons, and would lose the game. Tang San stepped on the ghost shadow step, constantly closing the distance between him and Huo Yuhao. Of course, when the two were only 20 meters apart, he stopped and stretched his hands to his waist. In order to prepare for this soul battle, he prepared a large number of hidden weapons in the storage soul guide device 24 Bridges Moonlit Night. This time, he already knew that his spirit was nothing to Huo Yuhao. Even though Tang San's blue silver grass spirit was already very powerful, even in the words of the master, Tang San's blue silver grass power was already the most powerful among all the blue silver grass spirits. But in front of Huo Yuhao, the blue silver grass was still not strong enough. Tang San moved all his fingers, and 10 silver lights shot out, as if they could cut through the air and attack every vital part of Huo Yuhao's body. In the battle with Huo Yuhao, he would naturally not show mercy. If possible, he even wanted to kill Huo Yuhao directly in the fighting arena. Because Huo Yuhao hurt Xiao Wu, he also defeated him twice. The war broke out, and Huo Yuhao was holding a long sword, which was a 3rd level soul guide. Under mental detection, Tang San's hidden weapons had nowhere to hide, and the flight trajectory was clearly captured. Huo Yuhao strolled in the garden and easily picked up Tang San's hidden weapon and flew out. Yesterday's second chapter was indeed in violation of the rules, and it has been blocked, because it cannot be changed. I don't know when it will be unblocked, so I modified it directly, and published it as a new chapter. Chapter 66 Tang San, My Kidney. Huo Yuhao's swordsmanship was unsystematic, but simple and effective, and each sword hit the vital point directly. Under the spiritual detection, Huo Yuhao could capture the trajectory of each hidden weapon thrown by Tang San, and even find the weak points. Therefore, he kept swinging his long sword, slashing, stabbing, or poking, and constantly knocked down Tang San's hidden weapons. Huo Yuhao's speed was very fast, not inferior to Zhu Zhuqing, who was a quick attack spirit master. This was based on Huo Yuhao's extremely strong physical fitness. Under the spiritual detection, the speed of the object's movement slowed down, giving him enough reaction time. Therefore, Tang San's conventional hidden weapons were useless to him, and could not hurt him at all. Not only Huo Yuhao, but any powerful spirit master could also do what Huo Yuhao did with the help of spiritual detection. Tang San's hidden weapons were strange and unpredictable, and their speed was so fast that it was difficult to capture with the naked eye. But under the spiritual detection, the trajectory of each hidden weapon's movement could be captured, and even the position could be predicted, so it was naturally easy to deal with. Huo Yuhao's face was calm. While dealing with Tang San's hidden weapons, he closed the distance between him and Tang San. Tang San's face was solemn. For the first time, he felt that his hidden weapons did not seem to be that powerful. Otherwise, it was impossible that the hundreds of hidden weapons piled on the ground at this moment could not even touch a hair of Huo Yuhao. Huo Yuhao was very strong, and the long sword in his hand was extremely sharp, so almost all the hidden weapons Tang San threw out were cut off or damaged by Huo Yuhao. If they wanted to use them again, they could only be recast. Tang San felt sorry for the hidden weapons he had worked so hard to create, and was even more shocked by Huo Yuhao's strength. You know, in the Shrek entrance examination, his hidden weapons made Xiao Wuji, who was at the Soul Saint level, embarrassed. But here, Huo Yuhao, it had no effect at all. At most it delayed Huo Yuhao's speed. Impossible. Huo Yuhao could not be stronger than Xiao Wuji. Tang San shook his head frantically in his heart. As a soul sect, how could Huo Yuhao compare with Xiao Wuji? However, the fact is that at this moment, Huo Yuhao was much more relaxed than Xiao Wuji in dealing with the hidden weapons. In the audience, Flanders and others also frowned slightly. Tang San's hidden weapons were very powerful, but they seemed to be ineffective. I have experienced Tang San's hidden weapons. Although I don't want to admit it, I was really embarrassed at that time. I was overwhelmed and couldn't defend myself. Xiao Wuji said, Tang San's hidden weapons are everywhere to find people's vital points, and the flight trajectory is very tricky. Even I have a hard time reacting. I can only rely on my strong physical defense to resist. And this Huo Yuhao is not simple. Flanders said, Huo Yuhao's speed is not fast, but he can hit Tang San's hidden weapons with every knife and resolve the crisis. As a quick attack system battle soul saint, he thought that with his speed, he could deal with Tang San's hidden weapons at this moment. But Huo Yuhao is not a quick attack system soul master, nor a soul saint, but he can do it. This made Flanders more determined to accept Huo Yuhao into Shrek Academy. Yu Xiao Gang pondered and said, Huo Yuhao's martial soul is the spirit eye, which should be an extremely rare spiritual attribute. This has led to his spiritual power far exceeding that of soul masters of the same level. His reaction speed is extremely amazing, and he can deal with Zhao San's hidden weapons. Although he lacked practical experience, he had read enough books. On the field, the distance between Huo Yuhao and Tang San was less than 5 meters. Tang San did not dare to stay where he was. At this moment, he stepped on the ghost hidden tracking step and kept pulling away. Tang San's face was extremely solemn, and his eyes were shining. Quietly, he threw out 10 hidden weapons again, and then in the blink of an eye, 4 golden lights were hidden among the 10 hidden weapons. These were 4 dragon beard needles, and their positions were very secret and difficult to see with the naked eye. He placed his hopes on these 4 dragon beard needles. As long as they could hit Huo Yuhao, the battle would end directly. Of course, even if it ended, Tang San would not immediately take out the dragon beard needles for Huo Yuhao. He wanted Huo Yuhao to suffer. At Flanders' request, he did not dare to kill Huo Yuhao here, and the rules of the Soto City Great Fighting Spirit Arena did not allow him to kill his opponent. Therefore, he could only avenge Xiao Wu under the condition of not killing Huo Yuhao. However, what Tang San did not expect was that under Huo Yuhao's spiritual detection, his so-called hidden weapons were not hidden weapons at all. The dragon beard needles were thin and weak, but they were accurately captured. Huo Yuhao injected his soul power into the long sword, and then slashed it out suddenly, cutting all 10 of Tang San's hidden weapons in half. Then the long sword swung, cutting off 4 dragon beard needles at an extremely delicate angle, and then put them away. The dragon beard needle is a good thing. Huo Yuhao did not want to let it go, so he put it away. Tang San's face was shocked. He did not expect that the dragon beard needle could not hurt Huo Yuhao. He decisively chose to temporarily give up the hidden weapon and rushed forward to fight Huo Yuhao in close combat. Tang San's close combat ability is also very strong. With all kinds of Tang sect skills, he can even fight Daimyo Bei in close combat. His hands were as crystal clear as jade, indestructible, and invulnerable to swords and spears. At this moment, he clenched his fists and smashed them out. Huo Yuhao was not afraid at all. He knew that Tang San was using the Zuanyu hand, one of the Tang sect's unique skills. Once he said it, his palms seemed to be jade and extremely hard. With a bang, the 2 fists collided, and Tang San's face suddenly changed, and his body flew backwards more than 10 meters. The sleeves on his entire arm were completely blown apart, and his arms were red and even cracked, with blood spilling out. Tang San looked at Huo Yuhao in disbelief. He didn't expect that the opponent's physical strength would be so strong. He practiced the Zuanyu hand, and his physical fitness was extremely strong, far exceeding that of the spirit masters of the same level, but at this moment, he was almost crippled by Huo Yuhao's punch. How could Tang San know that, although Huo Yuhao's martial soul was of spiritual attribute, his physical body had reached a level not inferior to that of a spirit emperor under the improvement of 2 10,000-year spirit rings? At this moment, under the punch, Tang San felt that his arm was completely paralyzed, and his flesh and blood were almost bursting, and he could no longer move. The battle should be over. Huo Yuhao thought to himself. A sharp golden light flashed in his eyes. Soul shock. Tang San's eyes widened and were full of bloodshot. At this moment, his brain seemed to explode. For a moment, blood flowed out of Tang San's mouth and nose. He fell to the ground, covering his head with both hands, and veins on his forehead were throbbing. The battle could be over at this moment, but Huo Yuhao did not intend to let Tang San go. In the blink of an eye, 2 golden lights shot out and pierced directly into the sides of Tang San's waist. Ah! Tang San screamed. His face was hideous, and he was about to go crazy. Chapter 67 Zhu Zhuqing level 40. Dragon Beard Needle. Tang San's face turned red, extremely ferocious, and his facial features twisted together. The Dragon Beard Needle was originally his great reliance in facing Huo Yuhao this time, but now Huo Yuhao used it to severely injure him. That position is the kidney. Tang San's eyes were wide open, and the extreme pain made him lose consciousness directly. The soul fight is over. Huo Yuhao won the game. Zio-san. 3 cuts. The group of people from Shrek Academy rushed to the soul fight field to check on Tang San's condition. Yu Xiaogang's face was full of worry. Tang San was his disciple, so he was naturally very concerned. Seeing Tang San's miserable condition at this moment, he was furious. Huo Yuhao, this is just a soul fight. How can you be so heavy-handed? Yu Xiaogang glared at Huo Yuhao. Huo Yuhao said calmly, Tang San's strength is very strong, which surprised me a little. The hidden weapons are unpredictable. If I don't go all out, I will be the one lying here. Dean Flanders, it seems that I have no chance to be with your Shrek Academy. After Huo Yuhao finished speaking, he walked straight down the fighting arena and left with Zhu Zhuqing. Flanders' face was gloomy, and finally he sighed and said, let's go. He no longer had any hope of accepting Huo Yuhao into Shrek Academy. Huo Yuhao himself looked down on Shrek Academy, and now Flanders had lost the bet, so there was really no other way. Ding, the host defeated Tang San and severely injured him, and obtained a luck value of 100,000. The current luck value is 290,000. Brother Yuhao, you seem to hate the people of Shrek Academy very much. Zhu Zhuqing asked in the hotel. Huo Yuhao nodded and said, I don't know why, but I feel very uncomfortable looking at them. Maybe it's because these people are not good people. I don't think they are good people either. Zhu Zhuqing said. A scum like Dame Yubei became the boss among the students of Shrek Academy, so you can imagine what kind of people the others are. Zhu Zhuqing didn't know what happened to the 2 girls, but when she was shopping with Huo Yuhao, she saw Mahanjan and Oscar enter the brothel in Soto City with her own eyes. Although Tang San didn't go, he was a sinister person. He used hidden weapons as weapons, so how could he be a good person? Brother Yuhao, when are we leaving Soto City? Zhu Zhuqing asked. Why, don't you want to stay here? Huo Yuhao asked. Zhu Zhuqing said, although this place is very good, the people of Shrek Academy are too annoying. If they often come to cause trouble, it will be annoying to death. Haha. Huo Yuhao hugged Zhu Zhuqing's slender waist and smiled. We will leave after you break through the soul sect. Huo Yuhao thought to himself, I wish they would often come to cause trouble. Zhu Zhuqing's soul power level is now level 39, not far from level 40, but even if the 2 of them practice together, and the practice speed is greatly improved, it will take some time for Zhu Zhuqing to break through level 40. After Zhu Zhuqing broke through level 40, Huo Yuhao did not plan to obtain spirit rings for her directly, but first use the body tempering pill to improve her physical strength so as to obtain higher level spirit rings. One day half a month later. Brother Yuhao, I broke through level 40. Zhu Zhuqing said happily, as soon as the sky brightened. Congratulations, you will soon become a spirit master. Huo Yuhao smiled. Shall we go get spirit rings now? Zhu Zhuqing asked. Don't be in a hurry. Huo Yuhao said, then took out 2 jade bottles and handed them to Zhu Zhuqing. In Zhu Zhuqing's puzzled eyes, Huo Yuhao explained, these are 2 body tempering pills. After taking them, your physical fitness can be greatly enhanced. Maybe you can try to absorb a 10,000 year level spirit ring. Ah. Zhu Zhuqing opened her mouth slightly. The 4th ring of the 10,000 year level, this is beyond common sense. Although Zhu Zhuqing has seen the 4th spirit ring of the 10,000 year level on Huo Yuhao, she has never thought that she can have it. After all, according to the best spirit ring ratio, the 10,000 year level spirit ring can only be absorbed when the spirit power breaks through level 50. The 4th soul ring is usually less than 5,000 years old. Brother Yuhao, can I really absorb the 4th soul ring of the 10,000 year level? Zhu Zhuqing was a little unconvinced. If he could absorb the 10,000 year soul ring at the 4th soul ring, then Zhu Zhuqing's strength would have a qualitative breakthrough, and even at the soul master level, he would be ahead of others. After all, the power of the 10,000 year soul ring is definitely not comparable to the 1,000 year soul ring. The reason why Huo Yuhao has such a strong combat ability is largely because each of his soul rings is beyond the norm. It's definitely possible. Huo Yuhao said, "You have already taken several body tempering pills, and your physique has far exceeded that of ordinary soul masters. Now, with the improvement of these 2 body tempering pills, absorbing the 10,000 year soul ring will definitely not be a problem." Zhu Zhuqing already has a top level beast martial soul, and his own physique is definitely excellent among soul masters of the same level. Under the effect of the body tempering pill, the strength of his physical body is constantly improving. He can really break the routine and absorb the 10,000 year soul ring. In the original novel, when Tang San broke through the soul sect, he absorbed the 10,000 year level underground spider soul ring, which made his strength leap to become the strongest of the Shrek 7 devils. Of course, he took many immortal herbs successively, tempered his body in the yin yang of ice and fire, and greatly improved his body. Although the effect of the body tempering pill on the body is not as good as the immortal grass, under the effect of multiple body tempering pills, it has exceeded the improvement of the immortal grass for Tang San. After breakfast, Zhu Zhuqing took a body tempering pill and then began to practice. The body tempering pill can temper the body, and it will suffer great pain during the process of taking it. Zhu Zhuqing had the experience of the previous few times, and this time she was familiar with it, and the process of absorbing the drug effect was much smoother. At night, Huo Yuhao and Zhu Zhuqing came to the Soto City Great Soul Fighting Arena on time to participate in the soul fighting. After the 2 easily won, they returned to the hotel. During this period, Huo Yuhao and Zhu Zhuqing also encountered several people from Shrek Academy in the Great Soul Fighting Arena several times. It was just that after the last battle between Huo Yuhao and Tang San, the Shrek Academy members chose to avoid Huo Yuhao and Zhu Zhuqing when they saw them. They did not want to provoke Huo Yuhao and Zhu Zhuqing. Although they had hatred in their hearts and wanted to retaliate, they were not strong enough and could only choose to endure it temporarily. That night, the 6 people from Shrek Academy fought a sudden noble team. The Royal Fighting Team versus the Shrek Team. In the original work, the Shrek 7 Devils defeated the Royal Fighting Team with difficulty. But this time, Shrek Academy lacked Zhu Zhuqing. Tang San also lacked the powerful late spider soul bone, and his injuries were not fully recovered, so he was defeated in the end. Chapter 68, Civet Cat Combination vs. Dragon Snake Combination. The next day, Zhu Zhuqing took another body hardening pill, and at night, the 2 went to the Great Soul Fighting Arena. However, before the 2 started to register, they met a group of people from Shrek Academy. Beside them, there were several strangers that Huo Yuhao had never seen before. Cheyenne Heng, this is the Huo Yuhao I mentioned to you yesterday. He is a soul sect, gold soul fighting level. Yu Xiaogang looked at a tall man beside him and said, "At your age, your strength is already very strong, but it is not the strongest in Soto City." Yu Xiaogang narrowed his eyes slightly. Huo Yuhao had excellent hearing, and Yu Xiaogang's voice could not be lowered, so he could hear it. Huo Yuhao suddenly remembered the identities of the people in front of him, and thought to himself, Yu Xianheng, the Royal Fighting Team. Yu Xianheng stepped forward, and came in front of Huo Yuhao, saying, "Hello, Huo Yuhao, I'm Yu Xianheng, the captain of the Royal Fighting Team. I came to Soto City to train a few days ago. I have heard of your name. Do you dare to fight with me?" Huo Yuhao chuckled and said, "I'm a soul sect. If you want to challenge me, it will not be too late to wait until you break through the soul sect." Yu Xianheng shook his head and said, "After today, I will leave Soto City. I hope to have a soul battle with you before I leave. Do you want to lose a game before leaving?" Huo Yuhao asked unceremoniously. Before Yu Xianheng spoke, a woman with a very good figure and a very beautiful face beside him snorted coldly, "Soul sect dares to be arrogant. There are not a few soul sects who have lost to us." Huo Yuhao smiled and said, "You are soul venerables, or silver fighting souls, and I'm a soul sect, gold fighting soul. There is no benefit for me to defeat you. You." Du Guyan was a little anxious. Yu Xianheng stopped Du Guyan from saying anything else and said, "Huo Yuhao, I really want to fight with you before I leave. I will take out 10,000 gold soul coins as a bet. As long as you defeat me, you can get 10,000 gold soul coins. And if you lose, you don't have to pay anything. 10,000 gold soul coins to buy a losing battle soul." Huo Yuhao smiled and said, "Okay, I'll fight with you. 1-on-1 or 2-on-2? Huo Yuhao asked. Yu Xianheng looked at Du Guyan beside him and said, 2-on-2. Huo Yuhao said, "Let's make it clear in advance. My partner is also a soul master at the gold soul level. I know that the soul master level gold soul is very powerful," Yu Xianheng said. After the royal fighting team defeated Shrek Academy last night, Yu Xiaogang and Yu Xianheng recognized each other as uncle and nephew. The leader of the royal fighting team is named Kinming, who also graduated from Shrek Academy. Therefore, the royal fighting team and Shrek Academy are relatively familiar with each other at this moment. Yu Xiaogang has informed Yu Xianheng of all the situations of Huo Yuhao and Zhu Zhuqing, and today's battle can be said to be facilitated by Yu Xiaogang. Because in the battle yesterday, Yu Xiaogang's favorite disciple Tangsun lost to Yu Xianheng, so Yu Xiaogang wanted Yu Xianheng to fight Huo Yuhao. If he loses, it will also dampen Yu Xianheng's spirit. If he can win, it will be better. He really wants to see the scene when Huo Yuhao loses. Huo Yuhao and Zhu Zhuqing's Spirit Cat combination will face Yu Xianheng and Du Guyan's Dragon Snake combination. In the Soto City Great Soul Fighting Arena, it is the first time that a Silver Soul Fighting level combination has challenged a Gold Soul Fighting level combination. This is also the first 2-on-2 soul fighting between Huo Yuhao and Zhu Zhuqing in this period of time. After being promoted to the Gold Soul Fighting level, Huo Yuhao and Zhu Zhuqing almost never meet opponents, because in general Silver Soul Fighting corresponds to Soul Masters at the Soul Sect level, and Gold Soul Fighting corresponds to Soul Masters at the Advanced Soul Sect or even Soul King level. Therefore, in the combination of Gold Fighting Spirits, Huo Yuhao and Zhu Zhuqing will most likely face a combination of 2 Soul Kings. Although Huo Yuhao is confident of winning such a combination, it will cause a big sensation. In addition, the Soto City Great Fighting Spirit Arena generally does not arrange low-level Soul Masters to fight against high-level Soul Masters. Therefore, the Spirit Cat combination of Huo Yuhao and Zhu Zhuqing has not met an opponent for a long time. After signing up for the competition, Huo Yuhao took Zhu Zhuqing into the Fighting Spirit Arena to wait. Not far away were several people from Shrek Academy and the Royal Fighting Team. Even Flanders and Zhao Wuji came to watch this battle. Huo Yuhao is a super monster that Shrek Academy cannot get. Their opponents are Yu Xianheng from the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex family, one of the 3 sects on the continent, and Du Guyan, the descendant of the titled Douluo. Both the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex and the Green Phosphorus Snake are top-level beast martial spirits. The combination of the 2 of them is naturally very powerful. Yu Xianheng is a level 39 strong attack system battle soul master. Du Guyan is a level 38 control system battle soul master, and their soul rings are the best ratio of 2 yellow and 1 purple. Huo Yuhao is now a level 43 soul master, and Zhu Zhuqing has also broken through to level 40, but has not yet obtained a soul ring. Of course, neither the Royal Fighting Team nor the Shrek Academy members know the specific levels of Huo Yuhao and Zhu Zhuqing. While waiting for the game to start, Huo Yuhao looked at Tangsun from Shrek Academy. Unlike when he saw him a few days ago, Tangsun's face was ruddy at this moment, and he had obviously recovered. Half a month ago, Huo Yuhao shot the Dragon Whisker Needle into Tangsun's 2 kidneys in the battle with Tangsun, causing him to suffer severe damage, but now he has fully recovered. Huo Yuhao's eyes suddenly looked at a beautiful girl in the Royal Fighting Team. She had a soft temperament, and was gentle and generous. Yi Lingling. Huo Yuhao suddenly remembered that the royal fighting team had an auxiliary spirit master with the 9-hearted begonia spirit named Jilingling. The 9-hearted begonia spirit was extremely powerful, and in terms of assistance, it could even be said to have surpassed the 7 treasures glazed pagoda, which was the continent's #1 auxiliary spirit. Because the 9-hearted begonia spirit was passed down from one lineage to another, there could only be 2 alive at the same time, and only when one died, could another one appear in the offspring. No matter how many spirit rings this spirit had, it only had one spirit skill, which was healing. With the 9-hearted begonia spirit master, it was hard to die in the fighting spirit. With such a powerful healing ability, it was naturally no problem to heal Tang San's injuries. After noticing Huo Yuhao's gaze, Jilingling also turned around and looked at Huo Yuhao. Her eyes were full of curiosity. After all, from Yu Xiao Gang's mouth last night, they knew that there was such a monster in Soto City. After all, it was an existence that could defeat the Shrek 6 with the power of 2 people. Everyone in the royal fighting team was a rare genius. Although they defeated the Shrek team, it was not easy to win. Huo Yuhao and Zhu Zhuqing defeated the 6 people of Shrek alone, so you can imagine how strong they are. Soon, it was time for the match between the civet cat and the dragon snake. Chapter 69. Is the agility attack spirit master so powerful? The fighting spirit begins. Huo Yuhao and Zhu Zhuqing immediately released their martial spirits, the spirit eyes and the nether spirit cat. The name of their spirit cat combination also came from this. You attack, I assist. It's rare to meet such a strong opponent. Take advantage of it. Huo Yuhao whispered. Zhu Zhuqing nodded, and then sharp claws burst out from between the 10 fingers of both hands. When participating in the fighting spirit in the fighting spirit field, Huo Yuhao and Zhu Zhuqing usually do not use soul guides. Although soul guides are of great help to them, there is no need to use soul guides for fair fighting spirits. Huo Yuhao's first soul skill, spiritual detection, was shared and unfolded, covering the entire fighting spirit field. The 2 rushed forward at the same time, and Zhu Zhuqing rushed in front of Huo Yuhao. In this battle, Zhu Zhuqing took the lead, which was a good experience, so Huo Yuhao's task was only to contain Du Guyan. As for Yu Xianheng, who possessed the Blow Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex martial spirit, Zhu Zhuqing dealt with him alone. Yu Xianheng and Du Guyan also released their martial spirits at the first moment. The Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex martial spirit is recognized as the first beast martial spirit on the continent. It generated a strong electric current at the moment of release, and its momentum was very strong. After releasing the martial spirit, Yu Xianheng's figure became more burly, and some dragonization appeared on his body. Fine dragon scales grew on his neck and half of his face. Although it did not cover his whole body, in the battle of the Soul Master level, the partial dragonization phenomenon was already very powerful. Zhu Zhuqing rushed forward. His figure was like a ghost, leaving a trail of after images. As a spirit master of the agility attack system, Zhu Zhuqing's speed has reached the limit of his realm. Many people in the audience could hardly see Zhu Zhuqing's movements. Yu Xianheng's face was solemn. Just a glance, he knew that Zhu Zhuqing's strength was very strong, and he had to be careful. Zhu Zhuqing waved his claws, and the sharp claws were like swords, which could easily tear apart iron blocks. Yu Xianheng's hands also grew sharp claws, which were much thicker than Zhu Zhuqing's cat claws. Clang clang clang, the claws of the two collided at one place, and a series of sparks burst out. With the help of shared spiritual detection, Zhu Zhuqing's attack was simple and effective, attacking Yu Xianheng's weak points, making him overwhelmed. What a powerful force. Yu Xianheng showed a bit of surprise on his face. He didn't expect that Zhu Zhuqing, a spirit master of the agility attack system, actually had more power than him, a spirit master of the strength attack system. First spirit skill, mythical world piercing. Zhu Zhuqing's speed, which was already very fast, suddenly doubled at this moment, and her claws became sharper. Zzzz, it was difficult to see with the naked eye how many claw shadows were greeting Yu Xianheng. He was overwhelmed at all. After holding on for a few seconds, Zhu Zhuqing directly scratched his clothes, and blood marks appeared on his face and arms. Although these minor wounds did not affect Yu Xianheng's combat effectiveness, it meant that he could not avoid Zhu Zhuqing's attacks at all. First spirit skill, Thunder Dragon Claw. Yu Xianheng shouted loudly and swung his right hand suddenly. A huge dragon claw condensed from thunder and slapped Zhu Zhuqing. Zhu Zhuqing retreated. Because of the help of spiritual detection sharing, she was alert the moment Yu Xianheng used his soul skill. At this moment, she did not dare to fight him head on. She retreated one after another and avoided the attack range of the Thunder Dragon Claw. Although her Nether Spirit Cat Martial Spirit is also a top level martial spirit, it is not strong at the top level of martial spirits. It is not as strong as the White Tiger Martial Spirit, and naturally not as strong as the Blow Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex Martial Spirit. Zhu Zhuqing's advantages, that her soul power is one level higher than Yu Xianheng, and her physical fitness, after being improved by many body tempering pills, is comparable to that of an ordinary Soul King. What a keen insight. Yu Xianheng was shocked. His first soul skill can be released almost instantly. If he had not been on guard in advance, it would be impossible to dodge it. He naturally did not know the abnormality of Huo Yuhao's spiritual detection sharing, which can seize the initiative in battle and give early warning. On the other side, Huo Yuhao and Du Guyan also fought for several rounds. The Spirit Eye Martial Soul that Huo Yuhao was using at the moment could also be said to be a control type Soul Master. The battle between him and Du Guyan was a duel between control type Soul Masters. Du Guyan's martial soul was the Jade Phosphorus Snake, which had a poison attribute. Although the quality of the martial soul was not as strong as Du Gubo's Jade Phosphorus Snake King, it was definitely a powerful martial soul. First soul skill, Jade Phosphorus Snake Light. Du Guyan's eyes suddenly emitted a strange dark green light, which shot straight at Huo Yuhao. Huo Yuhao did not dodge, and the dark green light still fell on him. For a moment, Huo Yuhao felt that the speed of the soul power in his body seemed to slow down a bit. The function of this soul skill was obviously to weaken the opponent. A faint green light appeared on Huo Yuhao's body, and his whole momentum declined a bit. Du Guyan was obviously happy when she saw this. She had not had any hope for this soul skill, thinking that it would be difficult to hit Huo Yuhao. Who would have thought that Huo Yuhao would be so arrogant that he would take the blow head on? Du Guyan rushed forward. She knew that Huo Yuhao was a soul sect master, so she did not intend to fight him head on at first. Her plan was to wait until Yu Xianheng defeated Zhu Zhuqing and then defeat Huo Yuhao together. At this moment, Huo Yuhao was hit by her first soul skill, and his strength was reduced, which gave her hope of defeating Huo Yuhao alone. She rushed forward, and while Huo Yuhao was still stagnant, another beam of green phosphorus snake light shot out and landed on Huo Yuhao again. Du Guyan could clearly sense that, after being hit by 2 consecutive green phosphorus snake lights, Huo Yuhao's aura had weakened a bit, and he had fallen from Soul Sect Master to Soul Venerable. She punched out, aiming at Huo Yuhao's chest. Bang! All this seemed to go too smoothly, making Du Guyan feel a little bit unbelievable. As a Soul Venerable at level 38, it was not so easy to receive a full strength punch from her. But at this moment, it actually hit Huo Yuhao's chest. But soon, Du Guyan found something wrong. Although this punch hit Huo Yuhao only shook his body slightly, and there was no expression on his face. And that punch seemed to hit Du Guyan on an iron plate, and it made her wrist hurt. Du Guyan did not stop, and her slender left leg suddenly raised and swept towards Huo Yuhao's head. This time, Huo Yuhao moved. He stretched out his hand to block Du Guyan's leg, and then his other hand suddenly clenched his fist and punched out. With a bang, Du Guyan reacted very quickly, crossed her hands to protect her chest, and was smashed away. Du Guyan felt a tightness in her chest. The force of this punch was very strong, making her very uncomfortable, and her arms were numb. Is this the power that a control type Soul Master should have? Du Guyan was very shocked. Chapter 70 Blue Silver Emperor's third soul skill. Even Yu Xianheng, a Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex Spirit Master, did not possess this kind of power. Yu Xianheng was also confused. His feelings just now were very similar to Du Guyan's. He also wanted to ask in his heart why a spirit master of the agile attack system was stronger than him, a strong attack spirit master. You know, his blue lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex martial soul is more powerful than Zhu Zhuqing's nether spirit cat, and the difference in spirit power between the two is only one level. Du Guyan was puzzled. Could it be that a spirit master at the soul sect level was really so powerful? Du Guyan had fought with soul masters at the soul sect level before. She knew very well that Huo Yuhao's strength had definitely surpassed that of a soul sect. Third spirit skill, green scale purple poison. Du Guyan opened her mouth and spewed out a thick purple mist, which spread in the air. For a moment, a disgusting fishy smell came, which made people think. Huo Yuhao knew that this was green scale snake venom, a deadly weapon. Once it was contaminated with a trace, a weak spirit master would turn into pus in a moment. At this moment, Huo Yuhao's head was also dizzy and nauseous. On the other side, Zhu Zhuqing's situation was even worse. Her energy was tied up by Yu Xianheng. Although she had been paying attention to the movements of Huo Yuhao, she was unable to defend against Du Guyan's green scale purple poison. At this moment, Zhu Zhuqing stumbled, and her speed dropped sharply. Yu Xianheng seized the opportunity and punched her right arm, sending her flying backwards. In the audience, the Shrek Academy group saw this scene and couldn't help but rejoice. Huo Yuhao and Zhu Zhuqing are going to lose, Damube said excitedly. Although Huo Yuhao and Zhu Zhuqing did not lose to him, he still felt happy. Are you going to taste the taste of failure too? Tang San's eyes were like fire, and he wished he could replace Yu Xianheng and teach Huo Yuhao a lesson. The last time they fought, Tang San lost completely and was seriously injured by his opponent with his own hidden weapon, and his kidneys were almost gone. If he hadn't met Yilingling from the royal fighting team in time, even if he wasn't disabled, his kidney function would probably have problems in the future. Flanders' eyes were dim, and he felt a little regretful. He thought to himself, rejecting our Shrek Academy will be your biggest loss. On the field, Huo Yuhao saw that Zhu Zhuqing was in a bad situation, and he no longer held back. He didn't use all his strength before, because he wanted Zhu Zhuqing to see the strength of the two powerful martial spirits, the blue lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex and the green phosphorus snake. In the battle between Zhu Zhuqing and Yu Xianheng just now, Zhu Zhuqing had already gained the upper hand, and it was only a matter of time to end the battle. Now, he has seen it, and it's time to end the battle. A sharp golden light flashed in Huo Yuhao's eyes, and the next moment, Du Guyan screamed and fell directly on the fighting spirit field. The green scale purple poison she released was not restrained for a while and gradually spread to the entire fighting spirit field. Yu Xianheng was shocked. Du Guyan's green scale purple poison is a big trump card of the royal fighting team, and basically no soul master can resist it. Although it was broken by Tang San's Realga wine in the match with the Shrek team yesterday, it is undeniable that it is powerful. If it spreads to the audience, even if the toxicity is weakened, it will cause the death of many people. What did you do to Yan'an? Yu Xianheng roared. At this moment, he was not only worried about the safety of Du Guyan, but also worried about the audience in the audience. If a large number of people died because of Du Guyan's green scale purple poison, then even if each of them came from a powerful force, it would not end well. Huo Yuhao ignored Yu Xianheng and just turned his head and glared at him. Ah! Yu Xianheng screamed, as if struck by lightning, and fell directly to the fighting spirit field, his body twitching continuously. Soul shock is a good skill. With Huo Yuhao's current mental strength level, if he goes all out, he can even stare people to death. Of course, this is just a fighting spirit, and Huo Yuhao only made Yu Xianheng and Du Guyan faint. Huo Yuhao came to Zhu Zhuqing's side, only to see that Zhu Zhuqing had fallen to the ground at this moment, unable to stand up. A strange purple color appeared on her face and exposed skin. Obviously, Zhu Zhuqing was poisoned. In the audience, everyone was shocked. They thought that the dragon snake combination was about to win, but in just a few breaths, the situation on the field was reversed. 2 people from the dragon snake combination had fainted, while the civet cat combination and Huo Yuhao were the only ones awake. Quick, stop the spread of the poisonous fog. Kinming in the audience shouted, and his voice was full of urgency at this moment. Among the people present, only Du Guyan could control the green scale purple poison, but Du Guyan was knocked unconscious by Huo Yuhao by some unknown means. The green scale purple poison she released was no longer restrained and was constantly spreading, endangering the lives of thousands of people in the audience. Brother Yuhao. Zhu Zhuqing wanted to say something, but was stopped by Huo Yuhao. He switched his martial soul from Spirit Eyes to Blue Silver Emperor. Blue Silver Emperor's third soul skill, Blue Silver Purification. A blue silver grass less than 30 centimeters tall grew from Huo Yuhao's palm, emitting a dreamy light blue halo. As the halo spread, the purple mist in the fighting arena seemed to have met its nemesis and dissipated directly. What was even more surprising was that the green scale purple poison was known as the most poisonous in the world, and the poison in Zhu Zhuqing's body was also dispelled and eliminated in the light blue halo emitted by the Blue Silver Emperor. In just a few breaths, the poison in Zhu Zhuqing's body had been completely dispelled, and the whole person recovered. The green scale purple poison that spread in the fighting arena was also completely dispelled by the light of the Blue Silver Emperor. Blue Silver Purification is the third soul skill of Huo Yuhao's Blue Silver Emperor martial soul, which can eliminate all negative states, poisoning, fainting, weakening, etc. Huo Yuhao has never used the second, third, and fourth soul skills of the Blue Silver Emperor martial soul. The reason is that except for the 4 soul skills granted by the first soul ring of the Blue Silver Emperor martial soul, which are attack soul skills, the rest of the soul skills have only auxiliary effects. For example, the effect of the third soul skill is to purify all negative states. The reason why Huo Yuhao did not hold back on Du Guyan was because he could also deal with this green scaled purple poison. The winner of this 2-on-2 soul fight is the Spirit Cat combination. The host announced the result of the soul fight loudly. Yu Xianheng and Du Guyan also woke up at this moment. Apart from feeling a splitting headache, they did not feel anything wrong. It was just that they still could not accept the result of this soul fight. They knew that their soul power level could not match Huo Yuhao and Zhu Zhuqing, so they were cautious at the beginning of the soul fight. Originally, after Du Guyan released the green-scaled purple poison, they had foreseen the victory of the game, and were waiting for Huo Yuhao to admit defeat, and then detoxify the two. However, who would have thought that Huo Yuhao did not even touch them, but just a look made them faint. Chapter 71 I haven't even released my martial spirit, how could I hurt anyone? Yu Xianheng helped Du Guyan up. His mind was still confused at the moment. The impact on his brain was still there, and he felt a splitting headache. However, the defeat in the fighting spirit made it even more difficult for him to accept. I lost. I actually lost. Yu Xianheng murmured to himself, still unable to believe it. In the fighting spirit just now, he could feel that Zhu Zhuqing was very powerful. Even if he faced her alone, it would be difficult to defeat her. But the fighting spirit did not last long. He did not even have time to use his most powerful third soul skill before he lost the game. Huo Yuhao came to Yu Xianheng and said, I won. Give me 10,000 gold soul coins. No, I haven't lost yet. Yu Xianheng's mentality collapsed a little. From childhood to adulthood, he was the most outstanding genius among his peers and had never tasted the taste of failure. Although the team battle with the Shrek team last night was very fierce, it finally won. And those people from Shrek Academy are a group of monsters. Although Yu Xianheng thought he was strong, he was still slightly inferior to the Shrek Academy in terms of talent. But so what, the winner was Yu Xianheng. Today, the battle had just begun, and did not last long. He lost for no apparent reason. He had not yet used his strongest spirit skills, but he lost the game inexplicably. This was hard for him, who was always proud, to accept. Do you want to cheat? Huo Yuhao's face darkened. If it were not for the sake of 10,000 gold spirit coins, he would not hold back, even if he fought with Yu Xianheng, and would defeat him in a very short time. If Du Guyan had not used the third spirit skill, the green scale purple poison, early on, he would have been patient and continued to fight, allowing Zhu Zhuqing to fight with the two separately to hone her combat experience. However, although the green scale purple poison could not hurt Huo Yuhao, it could harm Zhu Zhuqing's life. Huo Yuhao did not dare to delay and ended the game directly. Yu Xianheng was stunned for a moment, then came to his senses and said apologetically, "I lost my composure." Then, Yu Xianheng took out 2 cards and handed them to Huo Yuhao, saying, "There are 10,000 gold soul coins in each of these 2 cards, which are the stakes for this soul fight. I hope you can have another match with me." Huo Yuhao shook his head, took only 1 card, and said, "You are very strong, but there is still a big gap between you and us. Keep working hard. We will have another chance in the future." After that, Huo Yuhao and Zhu Zhuqing walked down the soul fighting field. Yu Xianheng clenched his fists, his face struggling a little, and finally sighed, his figure a little lonely. "Xianheng, when we break through the soul sect, we will defeat them." Du Guyan comforted. The two walked down the soul fighting field and walked towards the direction of the Shrek Academy group. "When we break through the soul sect, can we really defeat them?" Yu Xianheng was in a heavy mood. Today's battle really hit him a little. He has always been the best among his peers. In the royal fighting team, he was the captain and the most powerful person in the team. Under his leadership, the royal fighting team had never lost in the Soto City Great Fighting Soul Arena. But at this moment, facing Huo Yuhao, he felt a little powerless. Huo Yuhao's look just now was majestic and sharp, which completely shocked him. Just one look could make him lose his fighting power. After the battle, Yu Xianheng's pride was completely shattered, and he was in a very low mood. In the audience, Yu Xiaogang's eyes were particularly solemn. "Flender, did you see it? Just now, Huo Yuhao had 4 soul rings, 1 white, 2 purple and 1 black." Yu Xiaogang's voice was full of shock. Although he had guessed before that Huo Yuhao was very likely to have twin martial spirits, he was still extremely shocked when he really saw it. After Bibidang and Tang San, he saw the 3rd twin martial spirit master, and Huo Yuhao's strength at this moment was much stronger than Tang San, and Tang San had no advantage against Huo Yuhao. As twin spirits, they can both complete the feat of having all the 10,000-year spirit rings of the 2nd spirit after breaking through the title Douluo. As long as Huo Yuhao grows up smoothly, there will be no chance for Tang San to come forward. "Flender, if you can't absorb Huo Yuhao into Shrek Academy, then kill him." Yu Xiaogang's eyes suddenly showed a trace of murderous intent. Flender was shocked. He didn't expect his good brother to say such a thing and have such an unexpected plan. There are many conflicts between Huo Yuhao and our Shrek Academy, and that Zhu Zhuqing is Mubei's fiancé. The hatred of stealing his wife is irreconcilable. The conflict between Huo Yuhao and our Shrek Academy is almost impossible to resolve. If this is the case, we can't let him grow up. Yu Xiaogang continued. Flanders thought for a long time and finally said, "Of course I understand this, but do you think such a powerful genius would have no background?" Yu Xiaogang said, "Then find out before you act, or ask that person to do it. With his strength, what can he do? Even if Huo Yuhao is standing behind the spirit hall?" "You mean Tang San's father, His Majesty Haoshan?" Flanders said. Yu Xiaogang nodded. Half a month ago, Tang San was almost crippled by Huo Yuhao. As a father, Haoshan Douluo can't ignore such a grudge. Yu Xiaogang said. "At worst, we can make the secret of Huo Yuhao's twin spirits public. There are many people who will test it for us." At this time, Huo Yuhao passed by Shrek Academy and the royal fighting team. He suddenly smiled and looked at Yu Xiaogang. Although Huo Yuhao was smiling, Yu Xiaogang felt a shocking chill. "Ah!" Yu Xiaogang's eyes suddenly widened, and he screamed, covering his head, and almost fell down. Flanders found out in time and supported Yu Xiaogang. "Xiaogang, what's wrong with you?" The pain came and went quickly. Yu Xiaogang shook his head and said, "I'm fine. I seem to have been attacked by Huo Yuhao just now." Flanders turned to look at Huo Yuhao and said angrily, "Boy, how dare you hurt someone?" Huo Yuhao pretended to be confused and said, "Which eye of yours saw me hurt someone?" Aren't you the only one who can attack people's brains like this? Flanders' eyes were like fire. I haven't even released my martial soul. Have you seen my spirit ring? Huo Yuhao sneered. Could it be that you can't afford to lose and want to make trouble? Huo Yuhao asked. Flanders was also stunned when he heard this. Yes, Huo Yuhao just walked over like this just now, and he didn't even release his martial soul. How could he hurt you, Xiao Gang? Who else can it be except you? Flanders insisted that it was Huo Yuhao. Huo Yuhao's face suddenly turned cold and he said, "How dare you slander me without any evidence? I'm afraid Shrek Academy is a den of bandits. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels." Chapter 72. Young people should not be too angry. Just now you looked at me, and then I felt a splitting headache. Isn't this your fault? Yu Xiao Gang's face was a little pale. At that moment, he felt as if his brain was pierced by a needle and was about to be torn apart. However, the pain came and went quickly, and now he has recovered. You are so arrogant and unreasonable. Do you really think I'm easy to bully? Huo Yuhao's eyes were cold. He took a step forward, and his aura was overwhelming. He looked at the people of Shrek Academy without a trace of fear in his eyes. Before leaving Soto City, he didn't mind getting a generous reward of luck value. Seeing Huo Yuhao's eyes, Flanders couldn't help but feel a little scared. Huo Yuhao, a soul sect, didn't have a trace of fear in his eyes when facing two soul saint level strongmen and their group of Shrek Academy. If he didn't have a strong backer behind him, Flanders couldn't imagine what kind of confidence Huo Yuhao had. Boy, you are too arrogant. Flanders didn't say anything, but Xiao Wuji was enraged first. He took a step forward and stretched out his big hand to grab Huo Yuhao's shoulder. However, Huo Yuhao directly slapped Xiao Wuji's hand away. This is the Soto City Great Fighting Spirit Arena. Do you still want to fight here? Huo Yuhao deliberately amplified his voice to attract the management staff of Soto City to rush in this direction. Humph. Xiao Wuji snorted coldly. Even if I fight here, who can stop me? You can try. Huo Yuhao's eyes were like torches, staring at Xiao Wuji without any retreat. Xiao Wuji had a bad temper and was already angry at this moment. He took 2 steps forward to fight, but was stopped by Flanders. Old Xiao, stop it. Flanders stopped Xiao Wuji and looked at Huo Yuhao, saying, "Young man, don't be too arrogant. After all, there are many more geniuses who die young than those who grow up. Haha, you are still a young man, if you are not arrogant." Huo Yuhao sneered. "I know what kind of people you are from Shrek Academy. You are welcome to come and make trouble for me." Huo Yuhao took Zhu Zhuqing's hand and left the Great Soul Fighting Arena. "Brother Yuhao, do we still want to stay in Soto City?" Zhu Zhuqing asked Huo Yuhao in the hotel. Just now, the two of them had a conflict with Shrek Academy and almost started fighting. In any case, the two of them could no longer stay in Soto City. If they were just students from Shrek Academy, then with the strength of Huo Yuhao and Zhu Zhuqing, they would not be afraid at all. But Flanders and Xiao Wuji, as the Dean and Vice Dean of Shrek Academy, are both Soul Saint level masters. Soul masters of this level are already considered powerful on the mainland and are invincible in Soto City. Zhu Zhuqing thought that with her and Huo Yuhao's current strength, they were not strong enough to confront Shrek Academy head on and needed to be patient. If they were not Soul Master and Soul Sect at present, but Soul Saint, then they would not be afraid of Shrek Academy. "Let's go to Xiandao City," Huo Yuhao said. Zhu Zhuqing has now broken through level 40, and her body, strengthened by the body tempering pill, is strong enough to absorb a 10,000-year level soul ring. It's time to add a soul ring for her. One reason for going to Xiandao City is that Huo Yuhao and Zhu Zhuqing have difficulty finding opponents in the Soto City soul fighting arena. Maybe there are people stronger than them here, but because of the soul fighting medal and soul power level, it is difficult to match them together. Another most important reason is that there is a very important treasure, and it's time to get it. Why go to Xiandao City? Zhu Zhuqing asked. There is a soul beast gathering place outside Xiandao City, called Sunset's Forest. Although it is not as good as the Stardao Great Forest, it is enough for you to get the 4th soul ring. Huo Yuhao explained. Zhu Zhuqing nodded. Brother Yuhao, when are we leaving? Rest for a night, and set off early tomorrow morning. Okay. After practicing for a night, the next morning, after eating breakfast sent by the hotel, Huo Yuhao bought a carriage and set off for Xiandao City. When the carriage drove out of Soto City, several figures appeared at the city gate. Xiao gang, I observed all night, and there was no one else following Huo Yuhao and Zhu Zhuqing. Maybe we were really fooled by this kid. Flanders said to Xiao gang beside him. Xiao gang nodded and said, Huo Yuhao's martial soul is eyes, spiritual attributes, and spiritual power far exceeds that of soul masters of the same realm. We were really fooled by him. Flanders' eyes were cold. He didn't expect that he would be shocked by a little guy again and again. This was really embarrassing. He was a soul saint, one of the famous golden iron triangle in the soul master world back then, but he gave in twice in front of a soul master. If we decide to take action, it seems to be the best time. Flanders said. Huo Yuhao and Zhu Zhuqing left Soto City early in the morning. It is obvious that they dare not stay. They are afraid. Xiao gang nodded and said, in order to avoid accidents, you and Zhao Wuji go together and make sure to kill him. Otherwise, once such a genius grows up, it will be our nightmare. A soul sect and a soul lord. I don't believe they can escape from my palm. Flanders snorted coldly, then called Zhao Wuji beside him, and chased in the direction where Huo Yuhao's carriage left. The carriage was not luxurious, but it was spacious enough. Huo Yuhao and Zhu Zhuqing did not waste time in the carriage. They practiced all the way. Although Zhu Zhuqing's soul power has reached level 40, the soul power accumulated by practice will still be stored in her body. After obtaining the soul ring, it will be reflected in the soul power level. And this carriage did not hire a coachman, but drove automatically along the official road towards Xiandao City. The reason why this scene could be done was because of Huo Yuhao's second soul skill of the spirit eye, called soul stealing. This soul skill can control all living beings whose mental power is weaker than that of the soul master. And controlling a horse to automatically travel can be done easily. The soul skills of Huo Yuhao's spirit eye martial soul are different from those in the original book, but for him, these soul skills are very useful, and are not inferior to the soul skills in the original book. In the evening, Huo Yuhao's aura suddenly increased during his training, and he broke through a bottleneck. Zhu Zhuqing opened his eyes, and a look of joy appeared in his clear eyes. He said, Brother Yuhao, you have broken through. Huo Yuhao nodded and said, now I'm level 44. While speaking, suddenly two very powerful auras were approaching. Huo Yuhao concentrated his mind, and stood up suddenly. Chapter 73. Before you take action, have you thought about how you want to die? Brother Yuhao, your cultivation speed is too fast. I can't catch up with you at all. Zhu Zhuqing was surprised. In the past few months, she had taken Zuanshu pills and Shenghen pills, which had narrowed the gap between her and Huo Yuhao, but now it was widened again. When you get the 4th soul ring, you can probably improve by 1 or 2 levels. Huo Yuhao said, also, I know a place that can improve your strength in a short period of time, and there are no side effects. Where? Zhu Zhuqing was obviously surprised and very curious. Originally, after seeing the powerful medicinal effects of Zuanshu pills, Shenghen pills, and quenching pills from Huo Yuhao, her cultivation level had completely exceeded the level that her talent could reach at this age. And now, Huo Yuhao actually told her that there is another way to quickly improve her strength, which surprised her. And it is an improvement without side effects, which is simply amazing. I won't tell you yet, you will know when the time comes. Huo Yuhao did not directly tell her where the yin yang eye of ice and fire was. There was no reason, just to whet her appetite. Zhu Zhuqing wanted to say something, but suddenly, the carriage shook violently. Huo Yuhao stood up suddenly. Both he and Zhu Zhuqing could feel two powerful auras approaching quickly. Huo Yuhao immediately opened the spiritual detection sharing. Then, Huo Yuhao and Zhu Zhuqing saw two figures less than 200 meters away from their carriage. Flanders and Zhao Wuji. Zhu Zhuqing was shocked. She didn't expect that these two people would catch up. Brother Yuhao, you go first. I'll help you delay here. Zhu Zhuqing said decisively. She knew that with their current strength, they could never be the opponents of Flanders and Zhao Wuji. Once they were caught up by the other party, there was only one way to go. Huo Yuhao and Zhu Zhuqing had several conflicts with Shrek Academy. After being rejected when they were invited to join Shrek Academy, the conflict between the two sides was difficult to resolve. Zhu Zhuqing wanted to get off the carriage, intercept Flanders and Zhao Wuji, and buy Huo Yuhao some time to escape. However, Huo Yuhao was calm and composed. He grabbed Zhu Zhuqing's hand and said, "Don't be afraid. Didn't I tell you that I have a trump card? Trumpet?" Zhu Zhuqing was puzzled. Although Huo Yuhao had told him that he didn't need to be afraid of Shrek Academy. But the two had been together for such a long time that he had never seen Huo Yuhao's so-called trump card. Huo Yuhao stopped the carriage without explaining, pulled Zhu Zhuqing's hand, and got off the carriage, and stood there waiting. In just a few breaths, Flanders and Zhao Wuji came in front of Huo Yuhao and Zhu Zhuqing. Flanders flew in the sky, and Zhao Wuji stood on the ground. The two looked at Huo Yuhao and Zhu Zhuqing, who were obviously waiting for them to appear. They were stunned at first. They didn't expect that the other party would not escape, but dare to stay there and wait. Flanders, Zhao Wuji, why did you two chase all the way from Soto City to now? Huo Yuhao asked. Humph, you hurt my Shrek Academy people, and you dare to be so arrogant. Flanders raised his hand and shot out a terrifying soul power shockwave, blasting towards Huo Yuhao and Zhu Zhuqing. Huo Yuhao was quick-witted and quick-handed. He first put the carriage into the system space through the storage ring, and then pulled Zhu Zhuqing's hand to dodge. The soul power shockwave landed on the original position of Huo Yuhao and Zhu Zhuqing, and immediately blew out a deep pit. Flanders, are you really not afraid of death? Huo Yuhao sneered. At this time, you still want to deceive me? Flanders was furious. He wanted to bluff again and again. Did he really think he was a fool? I'm here to kill you. Let me see what kind of strong man is behind you to protect you. Flanders snorted coldly. He swooped down and was about to attack Huo Yuhao. Zhao Wuji also approached quickly. Although he believed in Flanders' strength, in order to prevent Huo Yuhao from escaping by any means, he chose to go together and kill Huo Yuhao quickly. However, at this moment, a strong pressure suddenly fell. Flanders and Zhao Wuji's faces changed, and they thought to themselves that it was not good. Is there really a strong person protecting this kid? Flanders was shocked. In the distance, a red light was approaching quickly, and in the blink of an eye, it came to Huo Yuhao and Zhu Zhuqing. This was a woman in a red dress. She was tall and hot, and was not inferior to Zhu Zhuqing at all. This woman looked to be in her 20s, with a beautiful appearance, pink eyes, and a perfect oval face. As she approached, whether it was Huo Yuhao and Zhu Zhuqing, or Flanders and Zhao Wuji, they all felt the temperature around them rising sharply. At this moment, they seemed to be in an endless flame. And this was indeed the case. On the woman's body, blazing flames emerged, and each ray of flame contained an extremely high temperature. She was covered in flames, but her eyes were extremely cold. She stood in front of Huo Yuhao and Zhu Zhuqing, and looked at Flanders and Zhao Wuji. Before you do it, have you thought about how you will die? The woman's voice was cold, but very pleasant. As her voice fell, the pressure emanating from her body became heavier. Huo Yuhao and Zhu Zhuqing felt fine, but Flanders and Zhao Wuji felt that it was difficult to breathe. And every breath of air they took made their throats hurt and their chests feel stuffy. Who are you? Flanders' eyes were uncertain. Just by the breath, he could tell that the woman in front of him was definitely a strong person far beyond the level of Soul Saint. Although he was not sure whether the other party had reached the level of titled Douluo, he already felt a lot of pressure. I'm protecting this little guy. If you dare to attack him, then leave your life behind. The red-clothed woman's tone was flat, but she easily decided the life and death of the two soul saints. Old Zhao, fight. Flanders shouted loudly. He knew that this matter could not be resolved peacefully, and he could only choose to fight. In his heart, there was still a glimmer of hope. As long as the terrible woman in front of him was not a titled Douluo, then he and Zhao Wuji would have a chance to escape. Zhao Wuji nodded, and then released his martial soul. The powerful King Kong bear, and 7 soul rings emerged, 2 yellow, 2 purple, and 3 black. The same was true for Flanders, whose martial soul was the 4-eyed cat owl, and he also had the best soul ring ratio of 2 yellow, 2 purple, and 3 black. However, facing 2 soul saint level masters, the woman in red seemed to see 2 ants. She moved her lotus step slightly, and with each step she took, the flames on her body became stronger, and soul rings emerged under her feet. Black, 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 red. Chapter 74, Crushing a Soul Saint to Death with One Hand. 9 ring titled Douluo. 8 10,000-year spirit rings, 100,000-year spirit ring. When seeing the red-dressed woman showing her spirit rings, both Flanders and Huo Yuhao and Zhu Zhuqing were stunned. What kind of configuration is this? The first spirit ring of 10,000-year level, the 9th spirit ring of 100,000-year level. Is this something a spirit master can achieve? At this moment, Flanders and Zhao Wuji had no intention of fighting at all. Any titled Douluo was in existence they could not defeat. And the one in front of them was even more abnormal than Tang Hao, whom they met outside Shrek Academy. Not only did she have the same 100,000-year spirit ring as Tang Hao, but the other 8 spirit rings were all 10,000-year level. How could this be possible? Zhu Zhuqing was also in a daze at this moment. She couldn't imagine this scene, and she couldn't believe it. The trump card that brother Yuhao mentioned turned out to be like this. She muttered to herself, never expecting Huo Yuhao's trump card to be a titled Douluo. And such an incredible titled Douluo. Huo Yuhao was also very shocked. He had consumed a titled Douluo character summoning card just to summon an ordinary titled Douluo. Because an ordinary titled Douluo was enough to solve the current dilemma. Who would have thought that the system would summon such a strong man? The configuration of 8 black and 1 red soul rings completely reached the level of Poseidon Douluo Poseidon. In this era, this cannot be done unless you get rewards through the god test and increase the soul ring age. The woman in front of Huo Yuhao looked more and more familiar. Although he had never seen her, the characteristics of the other party reminded him of a person's name. Mazioteo. Mazioteo, who possesses the evil fire phoenix martial spirit, did have a soul ring configuration after breaking through the title Douluo. In the original work, Mazioteo was his sister. He didn't expect that he would come to the Douluo Continent 10,000 years ago and meet her. Name, Mazioteo. Martial soul, dark phoenix. Soul level, level 91. Soul ring ratio, black 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 red. Favorability, 90. After the system prompted the information, Huo Yuhao obtained Mazioteo's information. To his surprise, Mazioteo actually had a 95% favorability rating for him. The two of them had never met before, so this favorability rating was probably created by the system. Your Majesty, I think there is some misunderstanding between us. Flender decisively admitted his fear. Facing such a titled Douluo, he had to be fearful. If he had known that there was such a powerful titled Douluo behind Huo Yuhao, he would not have dared to be so stubborn, even if he had 10 lives. He actually dared to provoke Huo Yuhao. Now, he brought disaster upon himself. Misunderstanding. I don't think it's a misunderstanding. If you do something wrong, you have to pay the price. Now go to hell. Mazioteo didn't say much, and with one word, she decided the life and death of Flender and Zhao Wuji. Let's fight. Flanders and Zhao Wuji looked at each other and decided to attack. The 7th soul rings on both of them lit up at the same time, and the most powerful martial souls were released. 4-eyed cat owl and mighty King Kong bear. However, facing the full strength burst of the two soul saints, Mazioteo remained calm. Her figure suddenly disappeared from the spot, and when she reappeared, she had already come to Zhao Wuji. At this moment, Ma Xiaotao stretched out a slender jade hand and grasped it in the air, and the 6-meter tall mighty King Kong bear seemed to be restrained by a powerful force and could not move at all. He struggled hard, but he could not get rid of it. Ma Xiaotao's slender 5 fingers slowly closed, and the mighty King Kong bear transformed by Zhao Wuji actually made a crisp sound, and the bones all over his body were creaking, and then they were twisted and broken. Zhao Wuji was so depressed at this moment. He thought he still had some ability to resist, but he didn't expect that after Ma Xiaotao took action, some of his methods became vain and had no effect at all. Is this the title Douluo? Zhao Wuji was terrified. A few months ago, he had seen the famous Haoshan Douluo on the mainland and learned from him. In the end, his face was bruised and swollen for half a month. Now, the strength displayed by Ma Xiaotao is obviously not weaker than Haoshan Douluo, or even stronger. Old Zhao, the 4-eyed cat eagle incarnated by Flanders, was flying in the sky. After seeing Zhao Wuji's miserable condition, he swooped down and wanted to fight with Ma Xiaotao. Ma Xiaotao did not look back, but just stretched out his other palm and slapped it. A big hand condensed by flames appeared across the sky and directly slapped Flanders away. While the person was still in the air, Flanders suddenly spit out a mouthful of blood. Title Douluo, so terrifying. Ma Xiaotao did not use soul skills, but just a casual palm, which contained great power, was able to injure Flanders, who was a soul saint, and had already used the martial soul true body and greatly enhanced his strength in all aspects. Go! Zhao Wuji shouted. Flanders is a flying soul master, and a spirit saint of the agility attack system. He is extremely fast. As long as he delays for a while, he can escape. Flanders heard Zhao Wuji shout, and his figure, that was about to rush over again, suddenly stopped. His 4 eyes were red, and he roared, "When the little monsters grow up, I will definitely avenge you." After leaving such a sentence, Flanders fled to the distance. However, Ma Xiaotao said lightly, "You can't escape." As soon as the voice fell, her 5 fingers had completely closed, and with a bang, Zhao Wuji's huge figure actually exploded. Zhao Wuji was actually crushed to death by Ma Xiaotao. Even Huo Yuhao, who knew Ma Xiaotao's strength, was also very surprised at this moment. This is too cruel. Ma Xiaotao was originally a genius that Shrek Academy said was rare in 100 years after 10,000 years. Her strength was extremely strong among the same level. She was awarded the title of Flame Devil in the inner courtyard of Shrek, which shows her cruelty. Zhu Zhuqing opened her mouth slightly, but did not make any sound. Zhao Wuji, who could have put her and Huo Yuhao in a deadly situation, was crushed alive. Is this the power of a title Douluo? Ma Xiaotao waved her hand and saw a blazing flame rushing past and even burned Zhao Wuji's body in an instant. Her round and straight long legs slightly bent, and the next moment, she soared into the sky like a meteor chasing the moon, chasing in the direction where Flanders fled. After Ma Xiaotao left, Zhu Zhuqing woke up from her shock. Brother Yuhao, this senior is too powerful. Zhu Zhuqing's eyes had a little more yearning. She wanted to become a strong person like Ma Xiaotao. Yeah, very strong. Huo Yuhao nodded. He did not expect that a random title Douluo character summoning card would summon this person. Brothers, if nothing unexpected happens, this one will be put on the shelves. It is not certain whether it will be Friday or Sunday. It is a bit unexpected. Catch-up reading is really important to me. If the book is good, I will be motivated to write more. If the book is good, I will update more. I have always had an idea in my mind that, if I can do it, after it is released, I will try to reach 10,000 a day. Chapter 75 Sunset's Forest. A moment later, a flash of red light returned, and Ma Xiaotao appeared in front of Huo Yuhao and Zhu Zhuqing, holding a soul bone in her hand. Flanders has been killed by me, and this is the soul bone he left behind. This soul bone comes from a 4-eyed cat owl of the 10,000 year level, which is pretty good. Ma Xiaotao threw the soul bone to Huo Yuhao. Then, with a feint, she disappeared from the spot. One shot of a titled Douluo costs 100,000 luck points. Why does it feel not worth it? Huo Yuhao muttered in his heart. In fact, 100,000 luck points can be exchanged for one shot of a titled Douluo, and he is already very satisfied. However, if he can permanently summon a titled Douluo as a protector, it would naturally be better. Soulbone. Zhu Zhuqing was shocked when she saw the soulbone in Huo Yuhao's hand. Soul bones can be said to be natural treasures, and they are in short supply. If any soul master can have a soul bone, it will undoubtedly greatly improve his strength. A soul master with soul bones and a soul master without soul bones are absolutely incomparable, unless the soul power level or the quality of the martial soul is too different. Two soul saints, together with a soul bone, it's not bad. Huo Yuhao said. He didn't know that Flanders actually had a soul bone. The 10,000-year-old four-eyed cat eagle soul bone is really a treasure. This soul bone can be said to be an unexpected gain 100,000 luck points, killing 2 soul saint level enemies, and getting a soul bone. Well, it's not a loss, no matter how you look at it. Luck points can be earned again, if they are lost, but treasures like soul bones are hard to come by. Huo Yuhao could tell that this was a right leg bone. He already had a 100,000-year-old lightning king bird left leg bone, and he still needed a right leg bone. However, this 10,000-year-old four-eyed cat eagle right leg bone is obviously more suitable for Zhu Zhuqing. Huo Yuhao took the carriage out of the system space, took Zhu Zhuqing's hand, and got on the carriage, and continued to move towards Xiandao City. This soul bone is suitable for you. It can also enhance your physique, and help you absorb the 4th soul ring of the 10,000-year level. Huo Yuhao handed the soul bone in his hand to Zhu Zhuqing. Zhu Zhuqing opened her mouth slightly. She didn't expect Huo Yuhao to give her such a precious soul bone. Brother Yuhao, I can't take it. It's too precious. You should absorb it yourself. Zhu Zhuqing waved her hands repeatedly and refused to take it. Huo Yuhao smiled and explained, didn't you hear it just now? This soul bone comes from a four-eyed cat owl of the 10,000-year level. It is suitable for a spirit master of the agility attack system. Although I can absorb it, it is still the most suitable for you. I already got a soul bone last time. If you don't want it, the gap between us will get bigger and bigger. Huo Yuhao said. Zhu Zhuqing also knew that, whether it was the soul fighting in the fighting arena or the conflict with Shrek Academy, Huo Yuhao actually didn't use his full strength. At least, the soul skills of his soul bone have never been released. Even so, Huo Yuhao's combat ability is already very strong. Compared with him, Zhu Zhuqing is too far behind. Huo Yuhao continued, we will get more soul bones in the future. If there are any suitable ones for me, I will absorb them myself. Brother Yuhao, thank you. Zhu Zhuqing wanted to say something, but in the end she was speechless, and could only say thank you. She took the soul bone with both hands, and was so moved, that she was a little overwhelmed, and could only throw herself into Huo Yuhao's arms. Brother Yuhao, I really don't know how to repay you. Zhu Zhuqing was so moved that she wanted to cry and laugh, and in the end she could only bury her head in Huo Yuhao's chest. In the past few years, Huo Yuhao has really helped her a lot. Whether it is various elixirs or saving her from danger several times, the girl is very moved and doesn't know how to repay him. Silly girl, do we still need to say this between us? Huo Yuhao smiled. Brother Yuhao. Zhu Zhuqing raised her head and took the initiative. Ding, the host killed Shrek Academy Dean Flanders and Vice Dean Zhao Wuji, which dealt a serious blow to Shrek Academy and Tangsan. Congratulations to the host for obtaining 200,000 luck points, 200,000 luck points, 100,000 luck points, and 100,000 luck points. Suddenly, Huo Yuhao's whole body was shocked, and he actually obtained 600,000 luck points. This is an unprecedented harvest. I didn't expect that. After consuming a title Douluo character summoning card with 100,000 luck points, I could get such a harvest. This wave, I earned 500,000 luck points, adding the 390,000 accumulated before. Huo Yuhao now has 990,000 luck points, and 1 million will be enough to open a gold treasure chest. Huo Yuhao can be said to have longed for the gold treasure chest. You know, a silver level treasure chest can open such unreasonable things as a title Douluo character summoning card. So what will be opened in the gold treasure chest? My head has been tilted up, and my neck is a little sore. Zhu Zhuqing said. Huo Yuhao did not speak. He reached out his hand from behind Zhu Zhuqing to hold her head, and then there was another verbal battle. Ding, Zhu Zhuqing's favorability +1, congratulations to the host for obtaining 10,000 luck points. After a long time, Huo Yuhao found that Zhu Zhuqing's red lips were slightly swollen, so he let her go. Absorb the soul bone first. Huo Yuhao said. Okay. Zhu Zhuqing sat cross-legged beside Huo Yuhao, pressed the soul bone on her right leg, and began to absorb it. For Zhu Zhuqing now, absorbing the 10,000 year level soul bone is no problem at all. While observing Zhu Zhuqing's situation, Huo Yuhao summoned Tangzi. System, can the summoned character exist permanently? Huo Yuhao asked. Spend 500,000 luck points to keep the summoned character permanently in this world. The system replied. The summoned character will be implanted with the memory of this world, and the initial favorability to the host is 90. 90 favorability. Huo Yuhao muttered in his heart, and Zhu Zhuqing's favorability to him was only 94 now. A favorability of 90 is equivalent to a relationship between lovers, and betrayal is basically impossible. In other words, once the favorability of the summoned character decreases, is it possible for him to leave me? Huo Yuhao asked. Yes, when the favorability drops to a negative number, the summoned character may also attack the host. The system said. Huo Yuhao nodded. To what extent can the initial favorability of 90 be reduced to below 0? Spend 500,000 luck points to summon Huo to this world permanently. Huo Yuhao made a decision. Now, he has 1 million luck points because of the 10,000 luck points he gained from Zhu Zhuqing's favorability improvement. Although he is very curious about what kind of good things can be opened in the golden treasure chest, for him at this stage, it is safer to be a title Douluo level protector. Ding, 500,000 luck points have been deducted, and Huo has been summoned successfully. Huo, level 91 title Douluo, martial spirit dark phoenix. Huo Yuhao was suddenly shocked. The Huo he summoned was level 91, which means that Huo at this time was an evil spirit master and had not solved the evil fire problem. In the original work, Huo was very cruel in the evil spirit master stage. In the end, Huo Yuhao used the ultimate ice to solve the evil fire in her body. Then he took the fiery glue of the fiery apricot, which made his martial spirit transform, and eventually become an ultimate fire spirit master. Fortunately, although the evil spirit master is cruel by nature, he is not without his own consciousness. With a favorability of 90, Huo will not attack me. Huo Yuhao thought, it seems that I need to go to the yin-yang eye of ice and fire as soon as possible to obtain the fairy grass and solve the evil fire problem in Huo's body. At this time, Huo, dressed in a red dress, suddenly appeared in the carriage. Zhu Yuhao, don't worry, I'm here, and the situation just now won't happen again. Huo sat down next to Huo Yuhao. There was a hint of scarlet in her eyes, but it was more of concern for Huo Yuhao. Thank you, Sister Zhu. Huo Yuhao thanked her. In the memory implanted by the system for Huo, she and Huo Yuhao were close siblings. Of course, they were not related by blood. The carriage continued to move forward, getting closer and closer to Xiandao City. However, Huo Yuhao did not enter Xiandao City, but came to the Sunset Forest 100 miles east of Xiandao City. The Sunset Forest is one of the major wild soul beasts inhabiting the Xiandao Empire. Although its area is not as large as the Xingdao Great Forest, it specializes in producing high-level soul beasts. Zhu Zhuqing's fourth soul ring will be obtained here. Entering the Sunset Forest, Huo Yuhao and Zhu Zhuqing walked in front, and Huo followed far behind. During the time of rushing on the road, Huo was meditating most of the time. Because her evil fire problem is always a hidden danger, there is a high possibility of an outbreak. Therefore, She can only suppress her evil fire through meditation to avoid hurting Huo Yuhao and Zhu Zhuqing. After entering the Sunset Forest, although Ma Xiaotao was protecting him, Huo Yuhao still habitually released his spiritual detection sharing to find a soul beast suitable for Zhu Zhuqing. Sister Xiaotao, fly to the sky and find a place surrounded by poisonous fog and full of green scale 7 unique flowers. It should be located in the center of the Sunset Forest. Huo Yuhao shouted to Ma Xiaotao behind him. Ma Xiaotao had a 90% favorable impression of him. There was no need to be polite when talking to him. Just treat her as a relative. Ma Xiaotao nodded and said, "You stay here and wait for me. Don't go deep into the Sunset Forest. I can feel that there are many powerful soul beasts here. If I'm not here, you may be in danger." After that, Ma Xiaotao stretched out a pair of fiery red wings behind her, shook slightly, and the whole person soared into the sky and flew towards the central area of the Sunset Forest. Generally speaking, flying is prohibited in places where soul beasts gather because it is impossible to hide your body at high altitudes, and it is very likely to be noticed by some powerful soul beasts, causing danger. In addition, there are many powerful flying soul beasts in the Sunset Forest. If you do not have the powerful strength of Ma Xiaotao, most people will not choose to fly in the sky. The scope of the Sunset Forest is not as large as that of the Stardao Great Forest, but it is also very vast. Even with Ma Xiaotao's strength, it will take time to search for the location mentioned by Huo Yuhao. Huo Yuhao and Zhu Zhuqing stopped where they were, waiting for Ma Xiaotao to return. At this moment, they were in the middle area of the Sunset Forest, where there were mostly 1,000-year-old soul beasts, and as for the 10,000-year-old soul beasts, they lived in deeper areas. With spiritual detection, Huo Yuhao and Zhu Zhuqing were not worried about being attacked by soul beasts, and they could completely avoid them in advance. Suddenly, a soul beast broke into the range of Huo Yuhao's spiritual detection. This was a 10,000-year-old ghost tiger with many bloodstains on its body, and even one of its legs seemed to be broken, hanging in the air, and did not dare to land at all. It ran on 3 legs and ran towards the outskirts of the Sunset Forest. Huo Yuhao was somewhat delighted. He did not expect that not long after entering the Sunset Forest, he would encounter a soul beast suitable for Zhu Zhuqing. This ghost tiger was a 10,000-year soul beast. It must have been competing for territory with other 10,000-year soul beasts. In the end, it was injured and had to leave its habitat in disgrace and come to the outskirts of the Sunset Forest to recuperate. Huo Yuhao could see that the bloodstains on the body of this 10,000-year ghost tiger were all claw marks left by some powerful soul beast. The bones were deep and large pieces of flesh were torn off. It kept wailing and ran towards the direction of Huo Yuhao and Zhu Zhuqing. Brother Yuhao. Zhu Zhuqing also found the trace of the ghost tiger. Huo Yuhao took Zhu Zhuqing's hand and came to the depths of the dense forest. He used the third soul skill of the spirit eye to simulate and hide his body, waiting for the ghost tiger to approach. I was blocked again by accident. I wanted to show my brother something good, but it didn't work. It turned out that chapter 74 was blocked. After deletion and modification, it was added to chapter 75, and the chapter name was also changed to chapter 74. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.